Hello and welcome to Week 2, Day 1 of the League of Legends Amateur Summoners Tournament presented by Esports HQ. I'm Tasty Bacon, joined as always by the one and only Cyber Owl. And we are going to be bringing you some 3 games today. We've got Inertia Gaming versus Frank Fang Gaming up first, followed by Static versus Tfue, and Team Cave Gaming versus Zenith Esports will round out our day. So a lot of really good matches coming up. Make sure you stick around for all 3 games. We are currently getting the first game of the day set up. Once again, Inertia Gaming versus Frank Fang Gaming, a Division C matchup. Both of these teams did win in their Week 1 games, so one of them's going to get the first loss of the tournament, while the other will be moving on to 2-0. We'll have to see who it's going to be coming up shortly.
I anticipate a really high kill game out of these two teams, only because of the fact that we saw how many kills both teams got. I think one team went, I think it was Inertia, went 30 kills to none.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they both teams played extremely dominant performances. Frank Fang Gaming had, I believe, approximately a 20-minute victory. And as you mentioned, Inertia Gaming having that 30-0, nearly a perfect game. They were only gave up a single dragon, was the only thing keeping them from that completely perfect victory. So we are now getting on over to the pick and ban phase. And we see Urgot immediately, the first ban. And that just makes me so happy when Urgot is up there being banned.
I am really upset that Urgot has been coming back into the meta, but it looks like Lissandra and Nidalee are going to be banned out right after him. And those two really high tier meta picks still, as they have been for the last several patches. One champion that I'm going to be a little curious to see if they bring it out is the Zac. Zac has been one of those really dominant junglers right now, thanks to the Cinderhulk jungle item. And just the jungle camps becoming weaker and giving more experience, allowing somebody with a weak early clear like him and Sejuani to do so well.
Yeah, it's really kind of become League of Tanks once again. It's like a rotation almost. You have League of Tanks, and then that slowly becomes League of Bruisers, then it's League of Assassins, and all of a sudden we're back over to League of Tanks again. And I enjoy League of Tanks because I just love seeing people walking around with these tiny little notches in their health bar because they have so much health. And to me, it just feels more exciting to watch because fights go longer. I mean, and there's a lot more action because people just don't die instantly, and I kind of enjoy that. It allows for some more positioning, more positional plays, and a lot more team synergy is required instead of just being like, oh, they've got one dude who's super fed and can assassinate everybody on our team. So I like League of Tanks. I know not everybody does, but personally, I enjoy it.
I'm a little surprised that they opted to go ahead and pick over that Rek'Sai instead of the Nautilus. I feel Nautilus would have been a nice first pick because it can kind of go as a flex pick. It can go in the jungle like you would normally see Nautilus, or we can see Nautilus support as we have seen from Lemon Nation in every game that he's played since Cloud9 started playing Nautilus.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could do what I do, take Nautilus top lane and completely dumpster Fioras.
Well, I have a feeling we're not going to be seeing a Fiora come out today, so
you never know. We'll see Urgot again. Don't kill my dreams.
So with that Rek'Sai being locked in, Frank Fang Gaming going to be actually grabbing that Rumble and a Graves. A little surprising to see them go for the Rumble and Graves right away. You figure there's a lot of AD carries that are kind of considered to be up in that higher echelon right now. So a little surprising to see him grabbed this early in the pick and ban phase.
Yeah, Graves is one of those. He's going to be one of those top tier picks for quite a while until that true grit passive sees some changes, or if other champions just get stronger in the AD carry role. And it looks like they are going to go ahead and lock in that Nautilus as well as Morgana, surprisingly enough. But going back to what I was saying about Graves, there are just no AD carries that can output the same amount of damage and have the same amount of tankiness to them like Graves can.
Yeah, and you were just talking about that Nautilus being picked up, and with a Morgana here, you have Morgana, Nautilus, and Rek'Sai. That's a lot of options because Nautilus can go support, jungle, top. Rek'Sai can go top or jungle. Morgana can go mid, support. Hey, even Morgana can go top if she really wants to. So a lot of options here coming out for Inertia, not really showing their hand too much other than the fact that they're going to be extremely tanky, which that's a surprise to absolutely nobody.
Yeah, that is very true. Jarvan and Lulu being hovered over here by Frank Fang Gaming. I'm a little surprised to see Jarvan again, but then again, we did see Tyler656, I believe, with that 1v4 Jarvan play. We're not going to get over that. We're not going to get over that.
It's not until someone else does something just as incredible. And you know, by having that Lulu in the team too, it gives you so much ability to not only engage but also to counter engage, and just she's such high utility on that pick. You know, you can save someone, you can use it for engaging, you can use it to disengage, you can use her for so many different things. You can build her straight damage and just, you know, completely catch people off guard. You never know. But we are going to be seeing the last two picks for Inertia coming through here. Lucian and Ahri, the current hovers.
So, Lucian, probably the best pick you can go against Graves with, rather. Either him, Corki, or Vayne, in my opinion, because Vayne because of the obvious ability to just ignore his armor, and Corki and Lucian because of the fact that they do have hybrid damage. It's going to be interesting to see what Frank Fang decide to pick as their last pick. That Lulu can be a support Lulu, if anything, and they can go ahead and counter pick the Ahri. And it looks like they're going to be picking Ashe mid because that's a thing again.
This could just be a hover over the Ashe. We'll have to see.
No. Nope. They're locking that in. No,
they switch over to the LeBlanc and grab that. So, two very mobile champions in that mid lane, where everyone else is kind of, you know, a good amount of mobility spread throughout as well, but incredibly mobile mid laners going to be very important to this match to see which one of those two can get ahead and kind of start roaming around the map and trying to get the other two lanes fed as well.
Yeah, that is very true. I'm not too keen on the fact that they decided to have so much AP damage on Frank Fang. It just seems like they're going to be if Inertia do decide to go ahead and start stacking Magic Resist, get a really early Aegis of the Legion, or Locket of the Iron Solari, it would really hinder their damage output unless the LeBlanc and the Rumble can get sufficiently fed to where they have to be the primary targets, and they'll stack MR, but then they'll have to deal with the Graves and Jarvan damage. So it looks like we're going to go ahead and hit this delay here, and we can talk about where these champions exactly are going. And on the side of Frank Fang Gaming, on the red side, it is L4A on Jarvan in the jungle, Golden Glue as LeBlanc mid, Bon Quiche, or Bon Quiche, Bonquistador, going support Lulu, Brandon Footerer as Rumble top, and Latman as Graves AD carry.
And then over on the side of Inertia Gaming, we have their top laner. It is going to be that Morgana, and played by Izunari. The jungler will be Ted Stickles on that Rek'Sai. Astro going to be in the mid lane on that Ahri. Trigger playing the AD carry as Corki, and of course the support Nautilus coming through on Maimer. So should be a very, very exciting matchup. A couple of ignites for both teams, both supports and mid laners opting to go for that aggressive summoner. And other than that, the top laners, junglers, and AD carries all taking the same summoner options, which is, again, not really a surprise to anybody. They're very, very common picks for those, especially for those champions.
So what?
So going forward, we are going to be it's gonna be interesting to see how these two teams are going to clash, because they both have really strong team fight potential, and that both of them are going to be looking for the picks. You have a little bit more, I feel, in favor of Inertia, as we see we have about a minute left, just over a minute, as we have you have Nautilus, you have Ahri, you have Morgana. All three of them have long-range pick potential, while over on Frank Fan Gaming, you don't really have anyone that can just kind of have that long-range CC that can lock somebody up from a distance. You have a couple slows, but there's no real hard CC besides Morgana's Chains or the J4 Flag and Drag combo.
That is true. However, the thing about Frank Fan Gaming's team composition, it's all about getting these solar laners to be significant threats to require attention. They want Graves to actually be the one getting fed, but they need Golden Glue and Brandon Fatoa to actually be the nuisances here. So, despite the fact that they don't have that much CC, if they can still garner enough attention to the solo lanes, it'll actually be definitely in their favor. And if Inertia Gaming aren't able to get the picks that they're looking for with the team composition that they have, it's just going to be definitely in favor of Frank Fang, because their team composition is about not getting shut down in the laning phase.
Yeah, so gonna be getting over to the loading screen now, as we gonna wait for people to connect. There's a couple nice skins being pulled out here from the few members of Inertia that have connected: Blade Mistress Morgana, Eternum Rek'Sai, and Foxfire Ahri.
And on Frank Fan Gaming, we see Darkforge Jarvan IV, Ravenborn LeBlanc, No Skin Lulu, Super Galaxy Rumble, and Riot Graves.
Bon Quiche not having a skin, just breaking up the trend. Only one so far without a skin. It's gotta find a sub. Gotta find someone that has skins for their champions to bring onto the Rift with them.
It looks like we're still waiting for Trigger and Memer to connect to the game, and there's Memer with the Warden Nautilus.
Love that Nautilus skin. I know there's still a lot of people that really don't like it, but I think that skin just looks super sharp. I don't care what anybody says.
I'm partial to Subterranean Nautilus, honestly.
I mean, my favorite is still Astronaut Nautilus, but I am a bit I do really like the way Warden Nautilus looks.
So it looks like we're just waiting on Trigger now. Curious what's going on. Maybe a bug splat?
Could be. Hopefully it's not.
Kill the Kazakhs. Kill the Kazakhs! Oh, there we go.
Yep, load on Drift. I would not be at all surprised if we have a pause coming out right away.
Let's see. Well, they first have to load into the Rift before they can go ahead and initiate a pause, so...
Yeah, still waiting a bit of time, and
oh, there we go. There's the pause.
So, unfortunately, we do have a pause. Trigger did not connect, unfortunately, and so going to be waiting for... There's the disconnect call out. Hopefully we'll be getting the reconnect call out shortly after, and we can get on to the action.
You could say he's not Trigger happy.
That's a bit of a stretch. That's a stretch. That's definitely a stretch. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to this one. I think, like you said, it's going to be a pretty aggressive game from both teams, just because, again, they are both so heavily built towards a team fight. I mean, I feel like Inertia is going to be the ones initiating a lot of the team fights, but then Frank Fan Gaming has a lot of the ability to counter-initiate once they do try and start it up. So it should be a lot of fun to watch once Trigger does get his situation sorted and gets himself back onto the Rift.
In the meantime... Let's talk about Frank Fang Gaming and their top laner.
All right. Brandon FTW.
No. No, sir. No. It is Brandon Fatua.
Oh boy. I'm
I don't care. I don't care who gets mad about it.
I still say at some point you're going to get a very strongly worded letter from Fang Fang Gaming and maybe from Brandon himself about that pronunciation.
Nah.
And when you do, I will be laughing. But we are going to be getting back into the game right about now.
Alright, everyone is finally connected. Immediately Jarvan throwing down his flag because why the hell not? So we're going to be seeing a double Doran start coming out of the top and mid laners from Inertia Gaming. And it looks like they're actually going to have Rumble starting boots for pots. That's actually a little surprising for me. I don't really see why he would opt to go ahead and get boots. I can understand the mobility to avoid the potential ganks in top lane from Rek'Sai, followed up by a Morgana Dark Binding.
I think it's to dance around those bindings.
Yeah.
You got to juke those out. You got to make sure you don't get hit by those dark bindings. If you don't get hit by a dark binding in the first place, that's so much of Morgana's damage that you just negated. And we see, actually, the two mid laners doing quite a bit of fighting before anything really happened. Astro actually having to go back because he did take a little over half his health. And now both the AD carries chasing each other down a bit too. Just a lot of little fights going out over this early vision. And none of it's going to actually end up accounting to anything other than seeing where the enemies are going to be starting.
That's true. I'm a little surprised to see such aggressive play already from Frank Fang. I could understand why, because it's a tactic to throw off your opponent, and if your opponent doesn't react properly, they can potentially get first blooded on. But with a team as squishy as Frank Fang's in the early game, that's probably not the best idea, because Inertia Gaming do have a lot of early game lockdown because of not only the fact they have Nautilus with his passive, they have Rek'Sai with her Naka, and Morgana with the potential Dark Binding, and it looks like we have another pause coming out.
Yeah, a little bit of lag coming out here from one of the teams, so hopefully that can get taken care of quickly. Actually, it looks like it is both teams experiencing this, which is unfortunate.
Packet loss, OP.
So they are going to be taking a minute getting this situation sorted out. And again, that early aggression, like you said, probably maybe just trying to bait someone in, trying to get a quick little sneaky first blood. It did not happen though. And so we are going to be having pretty standard starts. Both top laners going into that top lane, no lane swaps, no invasions or trying to stop the first camp coming out, as both junglers are going to be starting on the bottom portion of their jungle.
So, looks like we're just going to be waiting a little bit for these guys to get their net situated. So, between the two team compositions, which do you think has the advantage to take the whole game?
I'm actually going to say that as much as I like the damage and counter engage potential from Frank Fang Gaming, I do like the fact that they're going to be able to engage off of a pick a lot easier. I like the team comp from Inertia just a little bit more. It is very, very close. It's not like I feel like I'm not sitting here like Inertia just completely won this pick and ban phase. No, not at all. It can be extremely close. But I do just personally like the composition from Inertia a little bit better.
I'm going to have to agree, but I'm also at the same time going to disagree, if only because of the fact that I do think that Jarvan combined with LeBlanc can easily make picks for Frank Fang if they're able to pick the fights that they want. And it looks like some early game skirmishes going down here in the bot lane.
Yeah, actually Corki going to get dropped extremely low, just over 100 health there in that very early trade. So Frank Fang coming out of the gates really aggressive. Lulu trying to stop the recall of Corki, but not quite having the range.
Just barely missing that glitter lance. Had she actually landed it, it would have been a nice way to just keep Corki in the lane and just deny him further and further. The fact that he was able to go back means he was able to go ahead, get a couple of health pots, and just go right back into lane. Which is not exactly what they wanted. They wanted to deny him a little bit more before having him go back.
Yeah, you also, I mean, you never really want to have to go back that early as an AD carry just because you are going to be missing out on some CS regardless. So Graves going to have a small advantage going forward in that lane. Shouldn't really account for too much just yet.
Rumble is going to be struggling quite a bit here in the top lane with just how easily Morgana just constantly pushes in the wave with her pool as well as her Dark Binding. She just uses her Dark Binding on the big minion and then pools to kill the rest of the smaller backline minions and just auto-attacks the ones in front. In the bot lane, Nautilus actually being extremely far ahead right now in my opinion. He's not getting harassed out by Lulu like he should have been, because now he's just getting to a point where he's just going to be extremely tanky. He's at level 3 now, having not gotten harassed, so it's going to be interesting to see what they actually managed to pull off here with the bot lane of Inertia Gaming. And it looks like in the mid lane, a bit of trading going on between Golden Glue and Astro. Golden Glue losing
gonna
out
land the charm and getting a lot of damage down there. But here comes the Jarvan looking for a gank in the mid lane. Doesn't look like he's really going to find anything there, though. And go back to the bottom side, still just trying to trade out. I'm a little surprised that mid lane hasn't been more aggressive considering how much they traded right off the bat at the level 1.
One thing I would have to say is, with this bot lane in particular, the Graves is just being able to poke this Corki out over and over and over and over. But one thing that they have to be careful of is the fact that they're not actually being able to kill the Corki, which is a big problem. Golden Glue going in on Astro again, he's just not really being able to do all that much damage at this point. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, I think yet is going to be that key word, as Corki, again, taking a lot of harassment in this lane. He's already gone through all of those potions he bought with his first recall. And just Latman and Bonquiche being so aggressive with their harassment. And yeah, Corki's been keeping up in CS, but he has just been chugging through potions and has spent a good amount of money on that. But meanwhile, in the mid lane, the Rek'Sai going to be going in for a gank, and actually the LeBlanc is just going to be able to get out of there relatively easily, all things considered. However, down in the bottom lane, Corki is going to be taking a lot of damage. A nice anchor by Nautilus is going to delay that damage. Now Corki's going to go in aggressively, and they're looking for that first blood, but it's going to go to Lulu. Nautilus managing to pick up the kill onto Graves and going to grab himself a double. So while Corki was the first one to fall, it is 2 kills in favor of Inertia Gaming as Nautilus cleans up.
Yeah, Nautilus getting those 2 kills is a problem. Not because he took the kills away from Corki, but more along the lines of the fact that he's gonna get so tanky now.
Oh, there's LeBlanc trying to go in, and Rek'Sai once again paying a visit to this mid lane, forcing Golden Glue to have to back off. Jarvan is going to be making his, just getting in the area, making sure they know that he's around, so they can't go diving to LeBlanc, but she is going to be recalling. And the aggression from both sides really starting to show, and you can definitely see where the focus for Inertia Gaming is, as Rek'Sai has been paying visit after visit to that mid lane.
Jarvan hasn't really made much of an impact yet in this game. He is slightly ahead in farm compared to the Rek'Sai, but if he doesn't start getting some vision control down in that bot lane, it's going to be definitely
the bottom lane. Graves going to get pulled in by the anchor. A lot of damage coming through. He is going to fall. Teleport coming down from the Rumble. He's going to drop that equalizer. Corki just going to flash over it, but he's getting taken so low. He does drop it now. Finally, the teleport answer from Morgana. Rumble is very low, going to get pulled in by that anchor. And then is Zunari picking up the kill with that Dark Binding. So great job from Inertia Gaming answering these movements from Frank Fang and coming out on top once again.
Yeah, that was a really nice movement by Inertia Gaming, going ahead, making sure that they had the Rumble burn his teleport first. He threw down the equalizer, but Corki just flashed out of it, so he was forced to chase him down, and the equalizer just kind of didn't zone anyone out. And with Morgana teleporting in right behind, the Rumble had to get the kill and then die for it, but he didn't even pick up the kill on his own. the Lulu is actually the one that picked it up. So not only is that going to be a few kills that went in the wrong places for Frank Fang Gaming, but that's also going to be a missed dragon because of the misplay that they just had.
Meanwhile, Ari and LeBlanc duking it out, and it looks like it is going to be Astro getting the better of this. The Ignite grabbing to kill. Jarvan trying to get involved. Doesn't quite land the knock-up onto Ari, and now she needs to be careful. She's walked right back in and just got jumped on by the Cataclysm, maybe just trying to keep Jarvan here a little bit longer in order for Ted Stickles to come in and try and get a kill. He's going to drop that smite and going to pick up the kill for himself, but Ari did pay for it. A little questionable as to why she went back in. I had to figure that Jarvan's Cataclysm was going to be up, and really just gave him a free kill kind of there.
Yeah, that was interesting for the Ari to just kind of go back in. I assume she just wanted to deal a little bit more damage and wasn't anticipating the Jarvan hitting level 6 just at that moment. Had he not been level 6, that actually would have been alright if she stayed around, because she could just throw out an Orb of Deception and she would have been okay. It looks like Inertia is actually going ahead and pausing the game one more time. Curious as to why, but we should be getting back underway shortly. Right now, it is 6-3 in favor of Inertia Gaming. And remember, guys, this is Inertia Gaming versus Frank Fang Gaming. The two teams that we have on the top, our two top tier pick for last.
Yeah, two of the teams that we had talked about at the end of last week as, you know, two of the teams to watch for in this tournament. So, going to be having to wait to see as we get the constant flame spitter sound from this rumble during the pause. It does look like some more lag coming out. Both teams having the issues. So
lag.
We do hope that these issues will get sorted. You never like it's so frustrating to try and play when you have lag, and unfortunately it is a factor that can happen during these online tournaments. We just hope that it won't have too much of an impact going forward.
Personally, I blame Freak for spilling coffee on the NA servers yet again and not putting more servers in the East Coast.
Yeah, I think I definitely do feel like the servers on the East Coast are going to be a problem. We need to get more servers over here, even though these teams aren't necessarily on the East Coast. Doesn't matter. Like, they could be both be playing in Seattle for all I care. We need servers on the East Coast. That's the reason.
Well, it looks like we are getting on pause in 3, 2, and 1, and we're getting right back into this game. Rumble in the top lane, farming up quite nicely against this Morgana. He's going to have to be fairly careful, though. She did pick up a kill, and he died for his troubles there in that bot lane without really picking anything up. And it looks like Ted Stickles went ahead, stole away the blue buff from Jarvan and LeBlanc. Nice job on him to go ahead, or on her to go ahead and pick that up. However, she wanted to do her red buff, but not quite healthy enough to go ahead and do that. She's just going to back off and go back when she is healthy again. This Nautilus is level 7. Corki's level 5.
Yeah, Nautilus getting those 3 kills and 2 assists. The best scorer on the team right now. If you didn't know any better, you would have no idea that he was actually their support looking at his score. Top lane or jungler with that 302 score, but he's going to be going over to try and protect his pink ward here, but unfortunately Lulu is going to grab that.
And then yet again with the trading in the mid lane, Golden Glue and Astro
here comes Jarvan
back and forth all the time.
Jarvan just going to miss that knock-up as Ari using that ultimate to dash away, coming very close to falling as she again tried to just get a little bit more damage and almost paid for it one more time, but was able to escape. Meanwhile, down this bottom, Nautilus going super aggressive. The Rek'Sai is trying to come around the corner. There's going to be the flash from the Lulu. So Nautilus actually forcing the flash on his own. I mean, you got to figure it was used because they assumed someone was coming.
Not necessarily. They did have a ward there in the tri-bush at the time. However, it looks like LeBlanc and Jarvan going to be going ahead and roaming down towards this bot lane. Not really aware that it actually is still warded. And a bit of miscommunication here from Frank Fang, in my opinion. It seems like they're really underestimating this Nautilus' damage, and we see Rumble going at it with Morgana in the top lane doing a ridiculous amount of damage.
That's a lot of damage. He just dropped her to around almost half health with just one quick combo, and I mean, they're definitely Inertia Gaming looking very, very good. So they're going to try and engage, but Lulu getting so far away. However, Nautilus is going to land that anchor, and with Rek'Sai coming in, Nautilus is going to pick up his 4th kill. And at some point, they have to start giving these kills to someone else on the team.
Oh boy. Well, the big man on campus is going to be really happy sitting at that 4-0 and 2. You would not think he was a sport with the amount of kills that he's picking up, but honestly, the fact that they're picking up the kills and denying Frank Fang more and more and more and more as the game progresses is just going to be in their favor, despite the fact that the kills are going over to the support.
Yeah, I mean, obviously picking up the kills is better than not getting the kills at all. Ari's going to be jumping onto the LeBlanc. Will he pick the right one? He does indeed, and that is going to be another kill for Ari. Astro here having a phenomenal game thus far.
Yeah, a little lackluster coming out of Golden Glue here with that LeBlanc. He hasn't really been able to land most of his combos, which really is the main source of damage coming out of LeBlanc anyway. Whereas Astro has been able to land charm after charm after charm and follows it up really nicely with the Ultimate Deception.
Rumble, once again, just chunking down Morgana's health. He's been doing this constantly, just sitting in that brush and keeping himself in that the charged zone there between 50 and 100. But Jarvan's going to be looking, just clearing out some vision, making sure that Rumble stays safe up there. And excellent timing on it too, as Rek'Sai was right around the corner. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, there's going to be Lulu roaming up from bottom, really wanting to get a kill onto Astro now. And he's going to be taking so low. The Ignite is ticking. He's not quite going to fall. The distortion in from LeBlanc is not going to pick up the kill. And now here comes the big bad Nautilus wanting to add to his score. But he's just not going to have the damage to do so. Throwing out that anchor is just going to hit a minion, though. And not able to grab the Lulu. Ari does need to be careful because LeBlanc can still do quite a bit of damage.
Oh, you see Latman trading down there with Trigger, and it looks like my meme are going to be caught out here by the Nautilus.
Both teleports coming in on opposite sides. It is going to be Nautilus not quite going down yet, and he does finally get picked up by the Jarvan, but not before they had already picked up a kill for Inertia. Jarvan got himself a double. He is so low, but the Rumble is just cleaning house, and that is a double for Rumble, and everyone but Corki ends up going down for Inertia. Frank Fang Gaming picking up a 4-for-1. What great map movement from them.
Yeah, that was a nice double for the Rumble, and the fact that they were able to get those kills onto him, it goes back to what I was saying before. They need to get at least one of these solo laners rolling, that way they can go ahead and apply a ridiculous amount of map pressure, so that the Graves doesn't get focused down as hard as he has been in the early part of the game, as we saw coming out of Inertia Gaming. They went ahead, they kept going bot lane, they kept ganking bot lane, Nautilus picking up so many kills in the bot lane as well, but this is where those kills start to matter. Because Corki is 2 levels behind was 2 levels behind Nautilus for a good portion of this game so far.
Yeah, and the other thing is, while I like the Morgana pick, I don't necessarily like it in the top lane because of just the impact you have while teleporting in. Rumble, when he teleports in, he's going to be dropping that equalizer and just, using that flame spitter, doing a ton of damage. Morgana, when she teleports in, she's joining a fight that's already in progress. And when you think of Morgana, you think of her as getting a pick to start off a fight, not helping out once the fight has already begun. She's usually used for getting that binding on someone, catching them out of position, and the team blowing them up. And when she's joining in after the fight has already begun, she just isn't able to offer quite as much as if she's there when the fight starts.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. And Morgana hasn't really been able to do all that much this game so far. She opted for getting the Morella Namacon as her first item. Not really the best choice in my opinion. I feel like the Zhonya's would be a lot better for the team play aspect of this game. But it looks like they're going to be trying to take away this dragon. Rek'Sai is sitting over that wall, but it looks like they're just going to go ahead, push down the mid lane instead, take a free tower, while just going ahead, giving up the dragon. That's going to be 1-for-1 in terms of dragons. Slight gold lead in favor of Frank Fang Gaming now as they start to slowly come back into this game.
Yeah, and you have to... I like the decision there from Inertia. They knew that they were not going to be able to really get involved in that dragon fight. It was really risky to try and do so. So instead, they just make the safe play, go and trade a tower for it. Of course, Dragon doesn't provide any real gold to the team, whereas getting that tower does. So, deciding to get the gold in everyone's pockets and let Frank Fang have their first Dragon of the game.
I don't think Mimer wants exactly to be there right now, but it looks like he's going to go in anyway.
Yeah, Rek'Sai and Corki
going to be running right into the
Graves.
Graves.
LeBlanc is going to come right through the back of the turret. They are going to drop the Graves early on, but now Ahri and Corki are so low, and LeBlanc and Lulu are still very healthy. They are considering the dive, but they do decide to back off. Meanwhile, up top, both top laners are going to be using their ultimates. It is going to be Rumble getting the worst of that trade, as he does get locked up by that Morgana for a little bit, but neither of them going to be going down.
That was, needless to say, unfortunate for Frank Fang Gaming here, but it looks like Rumble going to be trying to retaliate here.
Binding gets weaves right through the minions and does a good amount of damage. Here comes the Ahri on the rotation. That binding is not going to land, but with that black shield on, it's going to keep Ahri alive just long enough for her to get the kill, but unfortunately not long enough to keep her alive. So 1-for-1 trade up in that top lane.
Yeah, the Ahri just got a little bit too close, Rumble flashing in so he could land the auto attack after being overheated, which means that his auto attack damage is actually a lot higher than normal. So he was able to just deal the damage despite the fact that the black shield was up on the Ahri. So really good on Rumble, making sure that he didn't get out of there without anything. But at the same time, the fact that they gave over the shutdown to Ahri, it's just going to be further problems down the road for Frank Fang, because Ahri is sitting at 4-3-1. She has been dying, but she's been picking up the kills for her team as well. And looks like Rek'Sai going to be stealing away the red buff.
Steals the red buff. Nice job by Ted Stickles getting that steal, keeping the buff out of Jarvan's hands.
He really doesn't want Jarvan to get much of this game. That's unfortunate, but Jarvan is sitting at 3-1-2, so it's not like he's getting absolutely nothing. So between these two teams right now, the junglers are completely even. The difference goes to the laners. Corki is very far behind compared to the Graves, in my opinion. Specifically in terms of farm and in terms of itemization. He finished the Triforce, but Graves has already completed an Infinity Edge, and he's also working towards either a Shiv or a Dancer.
Actually, if you look at the gold values, because Corki has those 6 assists to Graves' 3, they are actually very even in gold. Graves having about only a 50 gold lead over the Corki. So even though Corki is definitely behind in CS, he's actually staying even with Graves because he's just been involved in so many more of his team's kills.
While that may be the case, this is around the point where Corki should have already been spiking in terms of damage. And as it seems right now, he's not able to do all that much. That kill counter is still sitting at 0. It should be a lot higher, at least at this stage of the game.
Morgana gonna get found here by the LeBlanc and Jarvan, both of them jumping in. Then Morgana using those soul shackles is going to lock up Jarvan, but she's going to get hugified by the Lulu, and it will be enough for them to get a kill traded onto Morgana, but everyone is now here. Both teams fully collapsing onto this. Rumble is getting out with as low health as possible and does not actually make it out. Corki gonna be using that Valkyrie aggressively, trying to follow things up. Graves is going to flash out of there, but now Ahri is chasing down, going to land that charm and pick herself up a kill. And Inertia Gaming coming out on top of this fight, only losing 2 members and picking up 4 of Frank Fang.
Well, Corki is finally sitting on the scoreboard 1, 2, and 8. He's actually not now is where I'm going to say he's actually ahead of the Graves. Graves could have picked up so many kills there, but really just not enough damage coming out from him. The team of Inertia Gaming just a little bit too tanky.
Yeah, I think the big problem is, aside from Lulu and maybe Jarvan, there's not really a whole lot of protection for the Graves, as Ahri going to be going aggressive onto the J4. A lot of damage being traded back by both of them. Ahri getting the better of that, and J4 deciding he does want to back off. But you look at the protection for Corki. You have Rek'Sai, who can knock people up. You have Nautilus, who just is a CC train. But then you look over on Frank Fang Gaming and who they have to protect their carries, and Rumble can't really protect a carry. He can get in the middle of a fight, do a lot of damage, but he can't really protect. You really just have Lulu and maybe J4 for that job, but J4 was involved in that fight from the start, so he wasn't really able to really protect his carries, and that kind of can end up being the difference here. Is Inertia Gaming able to just keep their carries alive and doing damage, while Graves was having to constantly back off and try and run away instead of being able to get those attacks out.
I also really like the itemization coming out of Rek'Sai. After finishing the Warrior's enchantment on her Chilling Blade, she actually opted to go ahead and get the Aegis of the Legion, which provides her not only a little bit of cooldown reduction, but a good amount of magic resist as well. And like I said before, if they go for the early magic resist, already got the Abyssal Scepter, Rek'Sai has the Aegis of the Legion, Morgana is Morgana. It's hard for enough damage to be coming out here from Frank Fang Gaming's team. So there's a very good chance that they're just not going to be able to output enough damage towards the... Well, now we're going towards the mid-game and towards the late game. There's going to be another dragon uncontested in favor of Inertia Gaming, but it looks like they're going to go ahead. Morgana going to be caught out here. Is she going to go down? Rumble should be able to pick up the kill there. No, it actually goes over to 14A on J4.
Yeah,
So,
I think Inertia Gaming is going to be perfectly fine with that trade, though. Losing your top laner, but picking up a dragon almost uncontested. Really, there was... I'm not even sure if Frank Fang had the time, or they obviously had the timer, but I don't think if they even realized that's what Inertia was doing, because they didn't have any vision, because Inertia had done a great job of clearing it out.
And the Graves did a good job there preventing Inertia Gaming from actually pushing out that lane even further. By using collateral damage to clear the wave, it prevented Corki and Nautilus from actually being able to just take that inner tower down.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a nice save on his part. And not only that, it forces them to just kind of back off because there's no other objective for them to take. And Graves is just going to be happy to farm up a little bit there.
Yeah, speaking of saves, Morgana teleporting to that top lane to keep that outer tower alive. And we are once again going to get a pause. Some more lag coming through for both teams. It's really unfortunate that it is happening. Could just be Riot servers, preparing for that the nerf mode that they're going to be bringing out tomorrow. But it's just unfortunate that it's happening during these games.
The heck is nerf mode?
Nerf mode, you didn't see? They put out a message. It's going to be the new Earth mode. NURF, new Earth, new ultra rapid fire.
Really?
Yep.
And they couldn't come up with anything better except for new ultra rapid fire.
If you read what it is, it makes perfect sense. It's basically all the move speeds are going to be dropped by like 200%. Cooldowns are and mana costs are increased by like 100%, and things like that. It was pretty great.
Wait. Repeat that last part?
Okay. You're gonna have to hold
Morgana's
off because Morgana. Yeah, you're gonna use that Black Shield very nicely to avoid the knock-up, but unfortunately, avoiding the knock-up is not going to avoid the damage coming in from J4 and Rumble, and that is going to be an easy kill.
And this is the primary problem with Morgana top lane. If she does get caught in any situation in that top lane where she has to deal with the 2v1, it's really hard for her to deal with it once she does throw out that Dark Binding and the Soul Shackles. It just leaves her extremely vulnerable up there when she does use her abilities, which is the reason why Morgana doesn't really get seen in a solo lane anymore, and oftentimes gets seen in the support role.
Yeah, it's again gonna be difficult for her. Like I said, I don't mind. I like the Morgana pick, but I really would have liked to see it in somewhere other than top lane. Yeah, I was talking on it before. She just isn't able to bring enough to an already existing fight, and really needs to be with the team to start off a fight. In that situation, she is amazing, but then you're pretty much wasting that teleport summoner spell by not being able to have her split pushing or anything like that. Possible fight brewing here in the mid lane as everyone is around this area with the exception of Rumble and Graves. And it's going to be actually LeBlanc trying to get it onto Rek'Sai. Dark Binding almost landing onto her, and you got to figure if that one had hit, it would have been the start of something. But they are all just going to back off. Both teams looking for picks here, trying to play a little bit safe and just trying to find a fight that they know they can win. because this is where things really start to matter. Death timers are starting to climb a little bit, so at this point, a lost fight is almost guarantees a tower or two. Whereas earlier in the game, a lost fight was maybe a tower, and that's where we're sitting at right now.
That is very true, and it looks like the main reason, in my opinion, that FrankFan Gaming is having such a difficult time.
Oh, J4 going to try and go in. This is going to be the start of the fight. The Soul Shackles is going to go down. Only locks up Lulu, but the initial damage got onto multiple members. It is going to be Nautilus, the first one falling, followed by the Morgana. And Inertia just didn't look like they were ready for this. Ahri was nowhere close to this fight. And FrankFan Gaming just really getting what they wanted in this skirmish. They do have a couple low health bars as Ahri is still trying to roam down, trying to get involved. There's a couple kills sitting on the table, but there's still a couple of really high health bars too. Jarvan, Rumble, and LeBlanc all very healthy. And so quick 2 kills for FrankFan, and just like that, they have a small advantage, but everyone is going to be recalling. So while they did get 2 kills, they really didn't get anything on the map because of it.
But this goes back to what I was saying, and this is exactly what FrankFan did right here. The Jarvan is extremely easy to telegraph when you see him just getting ready to go in, because his movements change from when he's being passive to when he's being really aggressive. If they play him almost like they play a Fiddlesticks, where they would wait around inside a camp area and just flash over or jump over the wall, it gives them a lot better of a chance to win these fights, because that's a person that's going to get bursted down to maybe about half HP, followed up by a LeBlanc. So that's a very low teammate coming out of Inertia Gaming if they do manage to get the right flag and drag coming out of Jarvan. And not only that, he can lock somebody up with the Cataclysms to set up an even bigger fight for his team, and maybe even escape amidst the chaos there, locking up a whole team of Inertia Gaming inside one little Cataclysm.
And actually, we are going to be seeing Dragon coming up in about 30 seconds. So both teams going to be fighting for vision in that area, trying to get themselves into a dominant position, forcing Graves and Lulu out of that mid lane. Just going to make sure that you can't trade a mid lane tower for a Dragon easily. And this is going to definitely be a big fight, I feel, as everybody is in the area, getting themselves set. Still clearing out pink wards. The Scuttle Crab did go over to Inertia, so they do have that extra little move speed bonus area. But they are kind of being forced off of that objective now, and it is going to be going over to FrankFan Gaming, picking up their second Dragon. Inertia going to try and shove down this mid lane as hard as they can. They have the advantage of the position on this tower, but they need to be careful because FrankFan Gaming is going to be able to collapse. Ahri trying to get a pick is going to get a ton of damage onto the Jarvan, but meanwhile, it is going to be Jarvan getting into the back lines of Inertia, and he is going to be the first one going down. The Rek'Sai just barely getting out of there. It is going to be Nautilus falling as well. Corki on the other side of the wall just trying to get damage in. A beautiful Soul Shackles from Morgana, followed by the Zhonya's. Gets herself 2 kills. Graves, though, is trying to do what he can. He needs to be so careful. There's the Scrying Orb coming out, trying to get vision. Rek'Sai charging forward and hits the max range Q for the kill. And Inertia Gaming comes out on top of that, getting the tower, getting 4 kills. And they're going to be pushing in onto the inhibitors here. Going to be taking this middle inhibitor tower down at 29 minutes. And they're going to grab an inhibitor as well. Plenty of time left on those death timers, so they will grab that easily and be able to back off. What a great fight from Inertia Gaming.
Yeah, definitely. The Inertia Gaming was able to go ahead and counter flank FrankFan Gaming there and just pick them off one by one. There's really not a lot of damage coming out of LeBlanc or Rumble right now. Rumble really the only one that's like a nuisance to Inertia Gaming. So if they just focus them down like they have been, it shouldn't be too much of a problem for them to deal with going towards the late game here.
That was also
but the Ahri is getting pseudo-fed 6-3 and 6. Corki getting pseudo-fed with 1, 2, and 11.
I mean, you have to give so much credit to the decision making of Inertia there. They knew that they just made the conscious decision of let them get Dragon, we're gonna shove up this mid lane. And you force FrankFan into having to decide between moving through the jungle, which takes significantly longer, and allowing would have basically allowed Inertia to just take that tower for free, or forcing them to come up the lane. And as soon as they knew that Frank Fang was coming up the lane, Ahri just went and got her a lot of damage down. But there's going to be another fight in the top lane. It is going to be Rek'Sai getting the kill on Graves and Corki grabbing LeBlanc, but Rumble and Lulu and J4 cleaning up those last kills, getting 2 back. But here comes the rest of Inertia. It is going to be Jarvan going on to the Ahri, but Ahri is just doing so much damage now. Rumble very low on the backside thanks to Corki and Nautilus, and Ahri just jumping around this fight, doing so much to the J4, keeping them off of the carry, and Corki really just able to do free damage because Jarvan and Lulu couldn't touch him. It was really only Rumble that had a chance, and Inertia Gaming just really rotating around. Again, their shot calling and their decision making is absolutely on point right now.
That is very, very true. They are just able to pick off the entirety of Frank Fang at this point. Like I said before the game even started, it's going to be a very high-octane, high-kill match. It's 22-17, so 39 kills being had this game so far. And an inhibitor going down in favor of Inertia Gaming means that the map has opened up a lot more for them. And if they opt to go ahead and go for this Baron, it's going to be relatively hard for Frank Fang Gaming to go ahead and possibly contest that, because that would force Jarvan to go in without necessarily having sorry about that. It will force Jarvan to go in without necessarily having a real way to have his team follow up, you know.
And I like what Inertia Game has been doing. Again, the rotations that they've had this game, even when Frank Fang feels like they have an advantageous fight, just the rest of the members of Inertia are in the process of rotating over for it, as we are going to be getting a skirmish in top lane. Both teleports coming down. Morgana is going to get there first. The Rumble Equalizer is beautiful, but it's not going to be enough, as that's already Corki picking up the kill onto Graves. Rumble is going to be falling on the backside of this, and again, just a beautiful fight for Inertia. They got a situation that they knew they had an advantage in, and just completely took it. And now they're going to be looking to pick up this dragon. LeBlanc, Jarvan, and Lulu are right there, though, so they do need to be careful. I'm going to have to see if they can get over the wall. They don't have any vision on the Baron right now, but there's going to be Jarvan going in. Baron is still fairly healthy, though, and now they're going to be turning all their attention onto Jarvan and blowing him up. That is going to be Ahri getting that kill. Corki finishes off the Baron for Inertia, sorry, and they are going to be picking up 2 more kills, getting the ace and the Baron, everything going Inertia Gaming's way. They're going to be looking to push in through this mid lane. They have over 20 seconds on 3 members. Nope, looks like they are going to instead decide to rotate around to
goodness.
Dragon is where they're pinging right now.
And that is going to be 4-4. Somehow ended up being an ace, because I guess Graves died at some point.
Graves died very early on, yeah.
Here too. And that was a humongous fight there for Inertia Gaming. They were able to get the kill onto... Frank Fang Gaming was able to get the kill onto Morgana at the beginning of that fight. But Jarvan, like I said before, he went in trying to get the steal and just could not contest it alone. And he just immediately got popped by the high damage coming out of Inertia Gaming. And after that, they just slaughtered LeBlanc and Lulu in the jungle.
Yeah, they just have so much CC on their side, and again, their vision control has been very strong as well. They kept all of the vision of Frank Fang out of the Baron pit, so Jarvan had no idea how much health Baron was at. He had to completely guess when he went in, and Baron was still over 2,000 health when Jarvan went in. So, and you have to admire, again, the shot calling of Inertia, just completely stopping the Baron and piling all of their damage onto Jarvan instead. Once he was down, then they turned back to Baron and picked it up, so that there was no chance of the steal coming through from Frank Fang. And now they go and grab their 3rd dragon of the game, going to be getting that move speed bonus. And with the Baron buff still on them, they should just be able to push in this bottom lane. It looks like that's exactly what they're going to be doing. Ahri still pressuring mid, though, just to make sure that they have to make some decisions here.
And right now it looks like the early game struggles that Inertia Gaming had were quelled by the fact that they were able to do exactly what they set out to do and was get the picks that they were looking for. And it seems like
Actually, Ari going to be taking a lot of damage. The fight is starting up, though. Here's everyone from Inertia funneling in onto this inhibitor. The Rumble's going to get locked up by that binding, but he is so tanky that it really doesn't matter. But the inhibitor goes down, and that is what Inertia had gone in there for. They just wanted that inhibitor to be taken off the map. Now they're going to just rotate on around over to this top lane, just forcing Frank Fang to have to answer their movements. And again, just going to be constantly poking up, trying to siege up this tower, trying to open up this base even further. Let's see. When they do decide to go in, when that trigger gets pulled, Golden Glue going to be jumping forward, doing a lot of damage to Ari before he backs off. But again, Ari, she's going to be able to just stick around in the backside and poke out the damage. Jarvan going to get dragged and pulled forward by the Nautilus. The ultimate going down with not really going to be an engagement following it up. However, so much harassment. Ari's actually in the pace, going to be looking for the kill on Rumble. She may be a little too aggressive. She's going to get the kill, and the charm onto LeBlanc is going to keep her alive and get a second kill. Meanwhile, the rest of Inertia is onto the inhibitor. They are going to take that down as well, and Inertia Gaming is looking to pick up the win over Frank Fang right now. The final Nexus turret is going down. There's still 3 members trying to defend. The Equalizer going up, but it's not really going to do a whole lot, and Rumble will fall. Corki does get picked up by the Graves, but Nautilus getting on there with the Morgana for another kill, and that is going to be the game in favor of Inertia, picking up the win in 36.5 minutes. Congratulations to them as they move to 2-0 in the League of Legends Amateur Summoners Tournament.
that was a 50-kill game at 36 minutes. It's exactly everything we expected out of these two teams. They just went at each other's throats, and it was just a bloodbath between these two teams.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch. We can only hope that the rest of the games going forward are as exciting. I mean, despite the 31-19 scoreline, this was a much closer game than it looked like until the end. You know, eventually Inertia just got a small lead that ended up turning into more and more. Again, because of the rotation, their movement around the map, really luring Frank Fang Gaming into situations that they just knew they had the better of. They would go for, draw Frank Fang into what looked like an advantageous fight, and then all of a sudden, 3 members from Inertia come around the corner and join the fray and turn the fight in their favor. And they did that multiple times, and eventually just added up and led to the victory. So that is going to do it for our first game here of the day. Coming up next, though, you're going to want to stick around. We have Team Static versus Tfue, a Division B matchup. We're going to see if Tfue can take down Static to get their first win, or if Static is going to advance to 2-0, just like Inertia just did. We'll be right back. Make sure you stick around. All right, guys, welcome back to the League of Legends Amateur Summoners Tournament presented by Esports HQ. we are getting ourselves ready for our second game of the day, going to be Static versus Tfue. Coming up in just a moment, we are getting the teams ready and into the lobby. So as soon as everything gets all set, then we will be getting into the game.
Yep, so we're just gonna be waiting around, chilling, relaxing, all cool. Oh.
So we are going to be, teams are getting themselves sorted out. We do need our final spectator in here. Cough, cough, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But as soon as he does, we will be... All right, so in just a moment, he'll be getting on in here. And once he does, we will be getting ready to start the second game of the day. Once again, Static and Tfue coming up. Both, we've mentioned both are Division B teams. Again, the divisions have no real meaning. They are, in terms of who got placed where, they are completely randomized. The top team from each division will be moving on after 9 weeks of play, mind you. So 9 games for every team, and after those 9 weeks, the top team from each division will be qualified to move on to the semifinals, and of course then the finals as well, and both will be held at the League of Legends East Coast Convention, or LEC Squared. Find more information about that at esportshq.com. But for now, we are getting over to the picks and ban phase. Do you see Xerath getting banned by Static right off the bat, and Sejuani taken off the board for Tfue?
Yeah, Xerath, not surprised to see him being banned. That he's one of those high-tier mid laners that can just deal a lot of poke and survive the laning phase quite nicely, as well as going towards the mid and late game, dealing a ton of damage and have such an impact thanks to his ultimate. Sejuani also being a huge factor here, one of those top-tier junglers that could provide a ton of CC once she does hit level 6. And not only that, Thresh and... What? That took me further. That's a ban.
That's a really surprising ban. I haven't seen much of Heimerdinger at all recently. I do still feel he's incredibly strong. I'm not too worried about the fact that they didn't want to deal with that, especially if a member of Static plays a lot of Heimerdinger type of situation. That one is surprising.
That's not too surprising, actually. Skarner has been one of the top tier junglers as well, thanks to the Cinder Hulk item.
I still haven't really seen him, so I don't know. Maybe I just don't play enough right now.
It's because you're cardboard.
But so 2 sort of unconventional bans so far. We'll have to see what this third ban is. And there's going to be LeBlanc. That's a standard ban coming out.
That's normal.
So we'll have to see if they stick to normal or unconventional as we get to the picks now. First pick here for Static going to be very, very normal. Nautilus going to be getting grabbed. And again, you have no idea where that's actually going to end up going. We'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, for all we know, it could be Nautilus mid.
Yeah, it could be. I highly doubt that it will be, but it very well could be.
I mean, we saw Jarvan mid coming out of high in the LCS.
Oh boy. That we did. We did see Urgot is open. Urgot is open. Could be an option here.
Urgot's open, but you have to realize something. People have to know how to play Urgot.
Yeah, and he was so unviable for so long that not many people remember how to play Urgot, other than those few brave souls that braved it out through his highs and his lows. We do see actually a Mumu and possibly Leona getting locked in. It will be. So how about that for a front line right there?
It depends on whether or not the Amumu actually does decide to build tanky or decides to build pseudo AP Amumu.
I would like to see him go tanky, just because that tank front line, Leona and Amumu, is going to be so difficult to get past, especially because they can both engage so heavily as well. It is going to be possibly a Jinx over here for Static.
And Jinx into Leona Amumu, not quite a big fan of that unless the Jinx is extremely fed to a point where she's just going to get excited before they can even get on her. And Sona being hovered over here by Tyrion, the M7. And I'm surprised. And by the way, that's Tfue on blue side and Static on the red side.
Yep, that was our wonderful event admin making the game room with the teams on the opposite sides throwing me off. So throw the blame at them. Just kidding, don't blame them because they pay me. So they are absolutely perfect and make no mistakes ever.
However, if you do seek someone to blame, go ahead and blame Tasty Bacon.
I think we bring back hashtag blame Bishop, as we do see the Lucian getting picked here to go up against Jinx. I love the Lucian into Jinx. Jinx is one of my favorite AD carries, but Lucian is just one of the ones that can do so well against her because he has that ability to harass through the minion wave.
Not only that, he's extremely mobile thanks to his E, so if he just uses his Relentless Pursuit combined with his passive, which lets him do 2 auto attacks right after, and then combine that with the Piercing Light, he's able to poke out Jinx extremely fast. Combine that with Leona, who will go in, and not only that, proccing her passive with Lucian's abilities, it's just going to allow so much burst to go out on that squishy champion. And if they go in on the Sona, that's an even squishier champion that they can go on. Sona can't really heal herself all that well, and she has the lowest base HP in the entire game.
Mm-hmm. Of course, it is going to be, that sustain can definitely help the Jinx provided by the Sona. It'll be a big benefit for them in that bottom lane, but as you mentioned, the Lucian has the ability to be so aggressive so early, especially with a Leona, that they should actually be able to out-damage that sustain. But we are going to be seeing actually a Cho'Gath and an Annie. That is an AP-heavy team if I ever saw one coming out of Tfue right now.
I'm not too much of a fan of the Cho'Gath unless that actually does end up going to the top. I would prefer it going in the mid lane, honestly. Cho'Gath doesn't really do all that well in the top lane right now, only because of the fact that he can get poked out relatively easily, and if he gets camped by a jungler like Amumu generally would camp a Cho'Gath since he's not exactly mobile, it's going to be really hard for him to just kind of be relevant. He's going to be able to sustain the lane just fine, but that's not going to really matter all that much if he's not able to get to a point where he can just instantly burst down a champion or just be like the super tank.
Yeah, I'd have to assume that he's going to be building a lot tankier, just because they do already have so much AP damage. Sona provides a good amount of magic damage, even from the support role. Of course, you have Annie going to be providing a lot of AP damage. Nautilus does some magic damage with his kit as well, even though he is primarily just there for the CC. And so, really, if you have Nautilus and Cho'Gath both building super tanky, then you have all of a sudden your big front line. But right now, I'm really liking Static's composition, as they have that Leona, Amumu, and Rek'Sai. Going to be 3 champions that are going to be so difficult for Tfue to get past and deal with, to be able to get onto that back line of the Ahri and the Lucian.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned with the amount of damage that's going to be coming out of Tfue, only because, like you said, they are extremely tanky. If the Annie doesn't get fed, that's a problem. Whereas there's a lot of damage as well as a lot of tankiness coming out of Static here. They have a nice balance between their team with the AP tank damage of Amumu, the AP damage of Ahri, the piercing damage AD of Lucian, and the extremely high AD of Rek'Sai, and then the tankiness out of Leona. They have a nice balance there, whereas the balance for Tfue is a little skewed towards the tankiness.
Yeah, it should be. I really do feel like, just off the picks and bans, I like Static's team comp quite a bit better, and I'm 1 for 1 today. I liked Inertia's comp in the first game, and they pulled it out. So I have to see if that it continues to keep up that trend, if I can get these predictions right. So
What are you gonna be the next drums?
possibly I could be.
Learn to play like him first.
hey, I play just as well as Crumbs did the last few weeks of the LCS season.
Oh, shots fired.
Boom. I had just as many kills in the LCS as Crumbs did for the second half of the split.
So absolutely none.
Doesn't make my statement any less true. As we are going to be having a little over a minute and a half left before we get to the loading screen. Take some time, go over the summoners. It is actually identical summoners for both teams. As on Tfue, we are going to have Tatanka 187 on the Cho'Gath in the top lane. The mid laner of Shaughnessy the Great playing that Annie. Jungling will be Flucko on the Nautilus. And the bottom lane is going to be Bellatrix and Tyrion the Imp 7 playing Jinx and Sona respectively.
And then we see on Static, we see Rek'Sai from Ganondorf? Eh?
Ganondorf, yeah.
Ninja Kiwis on Amumu.
I like it.
D Jeter9 on Ari, and Monkey Dude and Raunchus Spatter on the AD carry and support of Lucian Leona.
So hopefully we will be getting another great matchup here. Again, going into this match, Static is 1-0, while unfortunately Tfue did fall in their first game of the tournament. So going to be looking to turn that around. And of course, Static, that game they picked up was in the very, very exciting Static versus Katsuo match.
That game will be a classic. Will be on LCS highlight reel.
So, just a couple of seconds left before we get over to that loading screen. Get to see what outfits they decide to wear onto the Rift.
Hopefully, nobody ended up wearing any matching outfits. That would look very awkward.
Really, I like when people have matching skins. I think it looks cool.
It's not cool when they're on the enemy team.
Then it's just kind of funny. So we are now getting over to the loading screen. We do see an Astro Nautilus, Firecracker Jinx, Classic Sona, only one on the team without a skin, and a Gentleman Cho'Gath. I think, I really feel like, was it Tatanka that played Cho'Gath last week?
I believe so.
And we made a comment about how he needed a Gentleman Cho'Gath skin. No, I want to say it was, that was someone that played it in mid, not top lane. I don't remember which game it was, but we made a comment about how they needed the Gentleman Cho'Gath skin. My favorite skin in the game, by the way, Gentleman Cho'Gath. And then Prom Queen Annie can be the final skin for Tfue.
And then we got the little boring team here. Static has a base skin Leona, Sad Robot Amumu, which is good from Ninja Kiwis. Base skin Ari, base skin Lucian, base skin Rek'Sai. I mean, come on, guys.
I liked their team comp. I don't like their team skins. Really lacking. If you trade Ninja Kiwis for Tyrion the Imp, then you have 5-on-5 shirts and skins. But unfortunately, both teams just
no. I don't think we can stream that. Pretty sure Hitbox will take us down pretty quick.
So, gonna be getting onto the Rift soon here, hopefully. Monkey Dude and Ganondorf and Shaughnessy the Great. So both teams holding up the line. Can't really place the blame on one over the other now because of that. I mean, I was ready to just lay into them, and nope.
Both
teams are making us wait.
Be nice, Bacon. All right, be nice or else there's going to be a Teemo in every single one of your games. Oh, wait, once that Teemo skin comes out, that's going to be true.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. But Still just waiting. Just get that little bit further. Get those hamsters running. Dangle
Just a little
dangle
bit.
some snacks in front of their face.
Just a little bit. Don't hit us with the copyright. Looks like Monkey Dude finally loaded Ganondorf. He's winning the race here. Shaughnessy the Great's in last. Who's gonna win here? Whoever wins this goes on to the next round of the tournament. No, I'm kidding.
This is a long load in. I mean, usually it's like I load in instantly before I can even look at what skins people have, and this one's just taking its time, just chugging along.
Well,
There we go.
You know what we have to do whenever we have those long loading screens? We need to have some karaoke.
I think we do not need to have karaoke at any
I think
point
we
on
do
the
need to have
stream
karaoke.
ever.
I
Ever.
disagree with you.
Well, you are wrong, sir, as we are going to be getting onto the Rift. Players should be loading in shortly. I've loaded in, just waiting on everything else.
So, type in hashtag karaoke if you want us to do karaoke on the stream at some point. Get enough votes and we'll do it. He can't deny the fan vote.
I'm pretty sure I can, but but we are going to get a pause coming out right off the bat here, as there is a disconnect. You can't even do hashtags right.
Shut up!
So it looks like it's currently 2 votes to 1, and hashtag no is winning. But
Dennis, you know you want the karaoke.
So just gonna be waiting for hopefully this reconnect. He's trying to reload. Hopefully he will be back in shortly. Nobody likes early game pauses. Early game pauses are the bane of streamers and casters and players everywhere. It's just there's nothing to do. You only some people got to buy their items.
So, there have been actually a lot of issues with the League clients as of late, for not just in tournaments like these, but just in general. A lot of people have been having issues where they would crash every now and again after either entering or exiting a game.
Mm-hmm.
And it would just completely mess with their clients. So I'm curious if maybe with the latest patch, something just broke.
Yeah, hopefully that's not the issue here, and hopefully he can get himself back in. Maybe just needs to restart that client and get back into the game.
And in the meantime, karaoke! Yeah!
Oh, how about no?
How
As we
about
are-
yes!
Oh boy, as we are just going to be again, hopefully getting the player back into the game
As you
as
can
quickly as possible.
see, Blaze 199.0 said that he has been having issues where he would keep crashing after a game.
So I'm going to talk about these early item builds. We have a Mumu starting with that machete and a potion. Very interesting. Surprising pickup, to say the least. Of course, we are joking, as it is a very, very, very common pickup. I apologize if anybody is new to the game and is like, "Oh wow, that's a surprising start. I guess I shouldn't do it." Do not do like if you are
Don't listen to
jungling.
Bacon. If you ever
If you're
want to get rid of me,
jungling,
don't
start with a
listen.
machete.
No, you obviously have to start only health pots. Only health pots. And like our cameraman just said, 3-minute dragon OP.
Cameraman that you couldn't hear, because
Yeah.
we have fancy things set up to do that.
And
So
by
we can hear things in our
telepathy.
ears. Yeah, fancy voices in our heads.
Yeah. That we both hear, not just one of us.
It's It's kind of scary actually.
Yeah, sometimes it makes really random noises, and it's really awkward.
Oh boy. So just a couple minutes into this pause again. Nothing we can do just yet. Just waiting on player to hopefully reconnect so we can unpause, get to the action, and have this battle between Tfue and Static.
Hopefully this doesn't become a trend with the games tonight.
Yeah, we haven't really had much in the way of pausing before today. So it's, I guess, the week 2 blues. They say when you're a kid, when you have a kid, it's the terrible twos. And I guess that's what we're having here with the terrible week 2s.
So, Bacon, did you know you could play League of Legends on a potato?
I did not know. I did not know that you could play League of Legends on a potato.
Well, you gotta get with the times, man. Your rig is so much worse.
Did you know that you can play League of Legends with a controller though?
I knew that actually. I played League of Legends with the Leap Motion as well.
The what?
Leap Motion.
I am unfamiliar.
Leap Motion's like a scanner that you put in front of your keyboard, and it records your movement of your hands.
Huh. That's pretty cool, actually. We do get the reconnect, and almost instantly the game is being unpaused. We are going to be getting to the action in about 10 seconds because we have to wait for those gates to go down for people to leave the base.
And by action, we mean nothing at all because we have not seen an early game invade at all in these tournaments.
Yeah, we are 12 games deep now. This is our 12th game of the tournament, and we have yet to see that last game was really the most action we've seen at a level 1 thus far. So maybe it's just slowly building up, and then like the last week it's just gonna be every team full on 5v5 team fights at level 1. A man can hope.
I can't stop laughing. I can't stop laughing right now. You know why.
So we are just going to be watching as teams move out of their base, get their wards down.
Nautilus is getting happy.
There he goes, doing the dance, doing that little shimmy.
I think he's having a seizure. No. I think he's.
There we go. There's the good.
I think he's just high.
That's the good Nautilus emote, swimming through the air, because why not?
And back to seizure.
Not seizure, that's getting boogie with it. Look at him, he's just shaking that booty. Getting down, getting funky.
Get down, get funky.
So it looks like it is going to be a standard start here from both junglers, both top laners up in that top lane. Both junglers getting some help at their first camp from their duo lane in the bottom side of the map.
So we're going to see Nautilus and Amumu basically following each other throughout this game. They're going to probably be ganking top lane quite a bit, as both top laners have a good way of securing a gank for their junglers. Rek'Sai obviously with her tunnel and Unborrow, and Cho'Gath with the Rupture.
Yeah, we are going to be some pretty passive play thus far. I do expect that to change in a hurry, given the bottom lane matchup of Leona and Lucian. I'd assume once they hit like level 2, they're going to start really going at it.
Uh-oh. Like we're experiencing some technical difficulties. Yep.
Cyber, get your shit set up to stream because I can't do it if
I don't have anything set up.
All right, so we are back after that brief internet hiccup there, and unfortunately, we apologize for that. But it was very brief, thankfully, and nothing really missed other than some farming. Not even really any poking and trading happening just yet. Both teams playing very passively in their lanes, which I'm actually a little bit surprised about. Again, you figured that the Leona and Lucian lane, as soon as they hit level 2 and 3, we're going to be trying to go really aggressive onto Sona and Jinx, but instead, it's continuing to just play safe, play passive, get that farm out, and...
See, but here's the thing about the way but the way Jinx and Sona have been playing. They've been playing extremely far back, almost making it seem like there's a Nautilus always waiting in the wings to just counter gank. Just go ahead and just jump on the Leona when she ever decides to go in with her Zenith Blade. So the Jinx, if she just does not miss out in any farm, being so far back, she should actually be okay in that bot lane. And Lucian is going to be faltering a little bit. He's not going to be doing too terrible, considering he does, like Corki, have a nice mid game power spike. And he usually just kind of goes for that normal 80 carry build. And it looks like Rek'Sai going to be knocked up by the buff.
Nautilus tried to get a gank in, but he's just barely misclicked on that anchor and ended up hitting the edge of the wall that he was right next to with it, so he didn't get himself into the lane.
That's a very troll wall, or at least that's what I believe.
Yeah, the wall just jumped out of nowhere. I swear, you didn't see it there.
I mean, it just kind of popped up out of nowhere. It was like, like Nautilus just had to hit it. He hit it out of fear.
Maybe the wall had insulted Nautilus's parents at some point. But either way, again,
so, as we do see in this bot lane, it's just a farm fest, really. The Jinx running extremely low on mana, though, because she's using her rockets to farm. That being the only way she can really stay so far back and get some sort of gold income. But this allows the Leona and the Lucian to get some deep wards down towards the dragon area. Meaning if then the Amumu does go down to try and start the dragon, Leona and Lucian can just roam up very easily and help him take that before Nautilus can even get near it.
Yeah, and that's assuming they even go for it, because again, it's been so passive thus far. Really, that move up from Nautilus was the only even like somewhat aggressive play that we've seen so far. We're 6.5 minutes in, and now we finally see Leona going in with that Zenith Blade, but immediately backing out, and nothing's gonna come of it. So
I'm gonna be aggressive. No, wait, I can't. No.
I think we're gonna be setting. Might be looking to set a record for last in latest first blood in this game thus far. I don't have the actual number with me. I don't know what exactly our timer on that is, but if these two teams continue playing the way that they are right now, they're going to easily surpass it. You know what I really want to see in League of Legends at some point? A game finish with no kills.
Oh, and we see an actual gank coming in. Nautilus is gonna miss the anchor, though. He's gonna be just kind of walking around. He did manage to... Never mind. I thought he burned Leona's flash. I was wrong.
Nope. Not a single flash was burned this day.
Oh, damage! Sona did damage! In any case, this laning phase is going definitely in favor of Tfue, in my opinion, only because of the fact that they're having this Jinx with so much fun.
Oh, there's going to be Annie landing the Tibbers after getting charmed up, and a lot of damage going to Ahri, but she's just going to use that ultimate dash away out of harm's... I was going to say dash away out of harm's way, but that doesn't really work.
It's okay. It's okay.
I have failed. I am sorry.
Not the first time, it's okay. But Annie...
Ouch! Wow, okay. Annie gonna actually flash onto the tower, and there's first blood coming 8 minutes in. Amumu can actually... Oh my goodness, Amumu bandage tossing onto Tibbers, and then popping that ultimate to get the kill onto Annie. Great play from Amumu to make sure that that was a 1-for-1 trade.
See, this is the main issue with Ahri in the mid lane, at least right now. Against somebody like Annie or somebody who has CC with a heavy amount of burst, a la Victor, a la Xerath, a la Annie, it's hard for Ari to really be relevant into that because she has to dash in and put herself in a very vulnerable position for her to be able to deal the maximum amount of damage that she can deal.
Yeah.
So against an Annie, it's kind of the opposite of what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. And Annie should be able to start to take control of this lane. I mean, she got that aggressive kill. Yes, she did die as well, but it required a Mumu coming down and using his flash and his ultimate in order to do so. So Annie's going to know that she can 1v1 trade with this Ahri whenever she wants. However, a big difference in items purchased right now in this mid lane is Annie decided to just get those boots leveled up, those mobility boots, so going to be looking to roam quite heavily out of this mid lane, while Ahri got the needlessly large rod. However, there's going to be a gank. Nautilus coming in onto the Annie. He's going to just miss the anchor, but the stun did land. Tibbers and the dredge line from Nautilus going to combine for that kill. Annie getting her second kill of the game.
It's good, guys. I missed the anchor. I'm just going to make her blow up.
Yeah, pretty much.
But honestly, this goes back to what I was saying. Annie, high burst, and high crowd control thanks to the fact that she can just pull up a stun. And if they're not careful against such a very... what's the word? She's a very unique champion in the fact that she can provide so much for her team in so many different aspects.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be the dragon going over to Fu. And Amumu kind of just walking around, staying high. Nautilus gonna high five him on the way out.
Yeah, so right now, Tfue picking up advantages across the board. That Annie, if she's gonna getting those mobility boots first, as I mentioned, gonna be really opening her up to roaming around the map. You see, Cho'Gath just constantly harassing this Rek'Sai, but Rek'Sai's been doing a really good job because of that ultimate. Oh my goodness, Amumu gonna land that bandage toss. The ultimate only gonna lock up Sona, but she's gonna hit that beautiful crescendo underneath the turret, and Amumu is going to go down. A failed gank by Static there, and Tfue getting themselves another kill, and that's not what you want. I mean, really, that could really set back this this Leona Lucian lane.
That was an interesting choice there by Static. I don't know why they decided to go for the dive against Sona and Jinx. Two champions that can lock you up if you do try to dive them. That was just a very interesting choice.
I think it was more that Jinx was able to get away from that. And actually, Leona been going in again, but Jinx trading a lot of damage back down. However, the Solar Flare is going to lock up both of them. And Lucian going to try and get some damage onto the Sona. She is extremely low. The double shot is going to get the kill. Now he turns his attentions onto Jinx. Going to use that dash, get that double shot passive again, and then flash forward. A little, not sure if he needed the flash there because he had plenty of range, but making sure that he gets the kill and a double kill over to Lucian. So right after I say that it may have set them back, they go ahead and pick themselves up a double kill and make me eat my words.
So, just like you said, them picking up the double kill, completely changing this right now. Lucian's already ahead in farm, but now the fact that he's also ahead by a kill up on this Jinx means that he's just going to be having an easier time in this lane. Jinx has been extremely behind in farm, despite the fact that she's been able to participate in a nice amount of plays for her team, including a dragon. But Lucian getting ahead for himself and really going to be a major driving force for his team if they look to pull up a win here towards this mid game.
The other thing I want to point out right now is this Rek'Sai. Cho'Gath has been doing quite a bit to try and bully Rek'Sai out of the lane, but Rek'Sai still is holding a CS lead because every time she's not worried about going back because of that ultimate. Every time that ultimate is up, she just uses it, recalls, and then uses that ultimate to jump back to one of those tunnels she has set up underneath her own tower, and is just missing almost no farm for going back or making a movement to try and help cover or anything like that. She's just every single time just is like, all right, I'm going to go back, but there's no punishment for it because of the fact that she can just get back to lane almost instantly every time she leaves.
One big problem though.
There it goes again. Exactly what I was talking about. However, in the mid lane, Annie going to be dropping that Tibbers onto Ahri. She's dashing away. The Ignite is ticking. It is going to be enough. Annie picking up another kill, solo kill that time, onto the Ahri. Leona gonna be going with that Zenith Blade. The Chompers are gonna go down though, and that's gonna stop the engage.
Yeah, that Jinx just put the Chompers just a little too close towards the Sona. Not far enough back, that way when the Leona decided to go ahead and try disengaging, she would get caught by it. So unfortunate for them that they couldn't capitalize on the mistake of Leona going in.
You see both junglers starting to make their way towards this bottom lane now. We'll be having some aggression coming out from either side. Nautilus is going to be backing off though. Mumu not quite able to get in for a lane gank, which is I think what he was looking for there. But now we're going to see Annie taking advantage of those mobility boots to start moving around the map. Oh, never mind. Thought she was going to make her way bottom. Instead, just going to grab those raptors.
Curious to see who's actually going to have a little more impact as far as the jungle is concerned. Is it going to be the Angry Seaman or is it going to be the Sad Mummy?
It's a very good question. Thus far, it has been pretty even, really, in terms of trying to get involved across the map.
Somehow Nautilus is ahead in farm, though.
Yeah, I think that's got to just be because of the straight up clear speed. I mean, Amumu's clear speed not very good early on.
What? No.
His initial clears is pretty slow.
So it's Nautilus, but yeah, I do see your point. Nautilus is just kind of just chilling out there, though. Mumu's just sitting.
We're going to have an engagement on this bottom lane. The beautiful crescendo locking up two members. Nautilus is coming around, but he's going to get there pretty late. The solar flare being used. There goes the Dredgeline. Going to knock up the Lucian. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. And he's not, as Lucian is going to get away. But now Ahri has roamed down. Teleport coming in. Ahri's gotten one kill onto Jinx. Lucian trying to pick something up. But Cho'Gath is now involved. The Amumu ultimate coming out to stun people up, but it's not going to be enough. And the feast. But here comes Rek'Sai and Annie joining the fray as well. And now it is going to be Lucian falling to the Annie. Rek'Sai also going to be going down. Cho'Gath picking up a double. And when all is said and done and the dust has cleared, it is a 2 for 3 in favor of Tfue. What a hectic fight. Just everybody just kind of coming in one at a time for each team.
It's like they heard the ring announcer bell. It's just like ding, ding, ding. Immediately, everyone swarming into the fight.
Yeah, and it's just everyone coming from different distances. Makes it a little awkward as they was, again, just, you know, it was just the two duo lanes, and then all of a sudden, Cho'Gath teleported in, Ahri came down, Amumu got involved, Rek'Sai came down, and finally Annie came in with Nautilus. It was just one after another, people joining the fray. But unfortunately for Static, the fight did go in favor of Tfue.
And interesting choice by Tfue there. To send Cho'Gath back top lane already. They could have actually went ahead, taken the dragon, and then sent him top lane just to make sure he got another Feast stack. And he's not going to make it back up there in time because he doesn't have the teleport before that tower does go down to the Rek'Sai. So it's just kind of a wasted opportunity there for an easier clear on that dragon. But they should be able to get this dragon uncontested. Mumu is still really far away from that dragon, but it looks like that dragon's going to be going down extremely slow.
Yeah, really only Jinx to provide a ton of damage to it, but it is going to go over to Tfue, as you said, without any contest. And again, the Rek'Sai just being able to use that ultimate to get back to lane, that was why she was able to get that tower, because as you mentioned, Cho'Gath not having the teleport, but Rek'Sai's teleport was also on cooldown. However, she just had that ultimate, just shot up to that top lane after the fight, got her team the first tower of the game.
Cho'Gath just wanted to slap around the Rek'Sai a little bit, just walks up to her, slap. Honestly, Cho'Gath's not really going to be having to worry too much about this Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai's not going to be able to deal enough damage that the Cho'Gath is going to be in any relative danger. A fully stacked Rod of, not a fully stacked Rod of Ages just yet, a 4-stack Rod of Ages, but a fully stacked on Feast Cho'Gath. Sitting extremely
there's
right
going to be
now.
Ahri getting locked up using that Dredgeline from Nautilus. They're going to try and get this kill. The Ignite is ticking. Will it be enough again? It is going to be. That is the second time now that Annie has gotten that Ignite kill from long distance. After Ahri thought she got away, just not quite having enough health.
And honestly, I think people tend to forget that the inner tower doesn't give a shield anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it did, if that middle inner tower gave any kind of shield, very likely would have saved Ahri's life.
However, Annie is 5-1-1 right now, being an absolute menace, and now she has a blue buff. Uh-oh.
Yeah, having already finished off her Rabadon's death cap as well, she's gonna get just more and more scary as the game goes on, and very quickly working up towards that point where if she catches someone out on their own, they're just dead.
Interesting choice from the Ahri to go ahead and finish a Rabadon's death cap before anything. I would have actually opted to maybe go for a Zhonya's to try and survive a little better against this Ahri. Against this Annie, rather.
Yeah, and she did get the Negatron cloak for the magic resist, but like you said, finishing off that death cap, that's a lot of gold invested in getting that extra damage when you are behind. So, let's see how that works out for her, if it does work out for her. But right now, Tfue looking to take further control of the game, but Amumu is going to be coming down. A beautiful solar flare going to lock up that Jinx, and she's going to fall instantly, but Annie is here getting herself unstoppable, and now it is Sona and Annie up against Amumu and Leona, and that is not going to go well for Static. Double kill for Tfue, but now Ahri joins the fray. They are going to get 2 kills of their own, and the shutdown going to go over to Ahri, and I guess getting that Rabadon's death cap for that extra damage is going to pay off, as she does pick up 2 kills for herself in rapid succession.
Yeah, that Ahri basically just made us eat our words. Nice roam from the Annie, making sure that she got the kill onto Lucian and Amumu, but the return kills onto Ahri are going to help her get back into this game. Almost picking up the Leona there, just almost. So right now, Jinx sitting at 1-3-2, Lucian sitting at 3-2-3. Jinx hasn't had a completed item yet. Lucian's already finishing a Static Shiv, as well having already completed an Infinity Edge. So he's extremely far ahead right now, and that's a big problem going towards the mid game here for Tfue. If they don't find a way to really keep this Lucian subjugated, it's going to be an extreme problem for them, mainly due to the fact that he's just going to be outputting a lot of damage, because there's not really necessarily a lot of tankiness coming out of Tfue's team comp right now.
Yeah, and not only that, but again, with Ahri picking up those 2 kills in that bottom lane, it's going to be a lot more gold onto her, especially with that shutdown. So they're going to start worrying about the Ahri as well. And, you know, despite the fact that Tfue had a pretty solid lead just a few minutes ago, it's definitely Static has a team comp that can very easily come back and, you know, start getting the advantage in team fights and picking up more and more kills, get that gold, and start turning it around.
And right now, the gold lead is actually in favor of Static, which is a little surprising considering the humongous start that Tfue had.
It's the CS leads in the top and bottom lane, and then having that extra tower really helping out that those gold numbers. It is still a very close game, though.
And honestly, let's see what actually ends up happening here. Ahri is kind of sitting back at the inner tower, so she's not really with her team. Amumu and Leona looking to try and make a play here, but not much to be had against the giant giant Cho'Gath and the giant Nautilus.
Yeah, that's the one really nice thing for Static, though. Actually, I say one, but they have multiple things going for them at the moment. But the really nice thing for them is going to be how easily they can engage. As Leona goes in, the culling is going to come out, but not really hitting a whole lot. But thankfully for Static, not a whole lot of counter engage coming out of Tfue, as Annie was not around. So
I'm actually surprised that Tfue didn't commit any more resources to that. That could have been just a free pickup there for their team if they did kill the Leona out of that, because Leona hasn't died yet, so she's still worth a decent amount of gold. It's not like somebody who's died like 6 times and got no reset.
I feel like they just didn't really want to.
Dragon.
I feel like they just didn't really want to commit too heavily because Annie was quite a distance away. I mean, despite having those Moby boots, as there's going to be a flash being used here. Leona trying to get in. The solar flare is only going to lock up the Sona, and the fight is starting. Amumu only picking up Nautilus with his ult as well, and Tfue is getting to disengage, and now Cho'Gath and Nautilus going to be wreaking havoc on that back line, but Leona is going to be going, actually no, sorry, not Leona, that was Rek'Sai, my apologies. Leona is now going to be very likely going down as Nautilus drags himself forward. Leona trying to do what she can to hold everyone off, but it is only Lucian and Ahri getting out alive. And that is now going to be definitely Dragon going to Tfue as they pick themselves up 3 more kills.
Static did the one thing that Tfue wanted them to do, and that was split up to try and pick up the carries. Rek'Sai alone was dealing with the Jinx, Annie, and I believe the Sona. And there was no follow-up from the rest of Rek'Sai's team, so it just kind of left her like a sitting duck, and Annie picked up the kill there. Which allows Tfue to go ahead and keep cleaning up. They have a Jinx that just got excited after getting a kill, picks up another kill in the process, and they were able to pick up Leona as she was trying to escape. As on top of that, they get the Dragon, and they already have 3 towers. Objectively, Tfue has been winning. No, I mean, they have 3 towers taken.
No?
Yeah, they do.
Is my spectator client bugged then?
They...
No, they only have the 1 tower taken.
So why the hell does mine say 3?
They have 3 dragons.
No, I see that they have 3 dragons, but mine also says they have 3... Oh, interesting.
That is very strange, because they only have that mid tower taken.
I guess my spectator client must be bugged then. Oops. Womp womp.
So yeah, Tfue has 1 tower taken in that mid lane. They have not yet to take any of the outer towers, which oddly enough are the 2 towers that Static has taken, are that top and bottom. They have not been able to take that mid tower, so exact opposites in terms of towers right now. But Tfue, it's dead even on gold right now. So as we mentioned, an extremely close game, and looks like Static's gonna be trying to make a move onto this Jinx. But that 6th sense coming through. Didn't actually have vision of them there, but saw them coming in through that tri-brush and just decided to take a shot and found them. That's going to force Static to have to back up.
So how do you feel about Annie actually going ahead and building the Luden's Echo here on top of that Rabadon?
Oh my goodness, and as we see, you're actually going to be getting the kill onto that Rek'Sai up top. I think you have to say that it's a really solid pickup. It's really only an item you can get first or second. If you wait any longer than that, then at that point it's not really worth it. But now, oh boy, Nautilus going to be trying to get away from these multiple members of Static, but he's so tanky that he's going to be able to just walk out of there, getting some help from the Jinx with those Flame Chompers. But yeah, as a first or second item, Luden's Echo is incredibly good. It gives you so much burst early on in the game that it's just so beneficial, but you really need to get it that early on, otherwise it becomes kind of worthless in terms of the burst that it provides. But meanwhile, it is going to be Amumu getting caught out, and that will be Nautilus picking up the kill with the smite.
I smite thee with my glorious anchor.
Rek'Sai going to be using that ultimate, and immediately, that's the power of a Rek'Sai ultimate. As soon as that screen goes out, you saw Tfue back off from this mid lane. Even though Rek'Sai, she ended up by that red buff, but when you don't know exactly where she's going to be ending up, you need to just start playing safe. However, they're going to be trying to dive this Rek'Sai again. This poor Rek'Sai cannot even get Solace underneath her own towers, as this is going to be the 2nd time in a row that she gets dove and taken out. Nautilus grabbing himself another kill.
He smite you too!
As poor Rek'Sai just can't get anything going for her, and it's no fault of her own, because like we just saw twice in a row, just playing safe underneath her tower, which is what you need to be doing in a situation like that, but just too many members of Tfue able to get up there without any answer from Static, and it's just going to be setting her further and further behind.
Honestly, it feels a lot like Dyrus syndrome here. Make sure the top laner dies a lot over and over and over and over again. Get them to potentially kill. That way they start making the worst decisions than they already had been in terms of sticking around when they shouldn't have been.
You got to give credit to Rek'Sai though. Despite the fact that she's now been ganked twice in a row and was getting bullied a bit early lane, she's got so much CS that she's still right in this game. I mean, she has almost as much gold as everyone else in the game. Sitting at just over 9,000.
Excuse me?
No, we are not doing that. But okay, either way, we're gonna have to actually watch out. Nautilus in a bad position. But with Annie and Sona just around the corner, they might be looking to turn this around. Amumu ult is going to catch everyone, though. The Jinx Rocket flies on through. It is going to be Leona getting caught on her own now in the middle of the entire team of Tfue. And now the Dredge Anchor going out to lock up the Amumu. And just like that, Tfue just turning these fights so quickly in their favor. It looks like it's going to be in Static's advantage, but they just turn it right around.
11, 2, and 5 on this Annie. Annie is just an absolute menace right now in this game. Not having been shut down properly during the laning phase, and she is just doing so much damage. Sitting on a Rabadon's Death Cap, a Luden's Echo, and looks like she's building a Rylai's now, seeing as how she's sitting on a
Blasting Wand
and a Giant's Belt. Sorry, I mentally derped.
So I'm a little surprised Annie actually didn't, after how well she did early on, didn't decide to go and grab a Mage Eyes and get that started to stack up. At this point, it's a little too late to do so, I feel. But definitely with the way that she started this game, could have gone and gotten that. But there's going to be an inhibitor taken down by Tfue, and they are now sitting firmly in control of this. They all have the largest gold lead ever, but they're just doing so well objective-wise.
Again?
And now we're having another fight as Amumu is going to get dropping. Leona trying to get herself involved, getting that solar flare down, but there's no one else from the Static, and now they finally start coming in, but is it a little too late as everyone is starting to fall on Static side, and there's still not a single death from Tfue.
Yeah, that was interesting. They just kind of went in the same way that they did before, thinking that it would work a second time, but it's at a point where Tfue is just too far ahead for them to be using that very stagnated idea. And it looks like Annie gonna be trying to pick up the kill onto this. Or is she gonna be able to get her?
Or is it Ahri trying to get the kill onto Annie? Ahri gonna pick it up. A shutdown kill. But in the meantime, Tfue picked up the dragon. And of course, we already saw that inhibitor go down. Cho'Gath just getting a little bit of damage onto those Nexus towers. But still, 4th dragon for Tfue grabbed there.
So 1 more dragon for Tfue, and that's going to give them the aspect of the dragon buff, which is going to provide them with even more tankiness, even more damage than they already have. And it's going to be even harder for Static to really push them out of these fights. And this is extremely different compared to what we saw in the early game. We saw Static pulling out these fights after struggling a little bit, and then it just completely turned on its head, whereas Tfue just started winning every single fight, losing at the most 1 member.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem right now for Static is it feels like they're not coordinating when they go in for these fights. I mean, we're seeing at the end of all these fights, they haven't been aced yet, because at the end of all the fights, Lucian and Ahri are getting out of there alive, and that's almost partially a problem, because it really feels like when their tanks go in, they're going in so much deeper than what Ahri and Lucian are willing to do, that they're just kind of, I mean, we saw it those last 2 fights, both Amumu and Leona ending up in the middle of the Tfue team, and then there's no one to peel for Ahri or Lucian, so they can't really get involved because the tanks are all of a sudden way deep in the enemy team, and so they're not able to really put out as much damage as they would like. And I feel like that's part of the problem right now for the Static team.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. And the fact that there really isn't much survivability coming out of Static is another huge problem. Their tanks aren't tanky enough, and their damage dealers don't deal enough damage.
And right now we see Tfue starting to build up around this Baron, looking for another fight. It is going to be Ahri getting engaged on. Lucian with another culling that just, most of it went by the wayside. Finally, the Dredge line going to be used onto that Nautilus, onto the Lucian, knocking everyone out of the way. That's already 2 kills picked up by Tfue, and everyone is going to fall, including the red buff. Nothing is safe from Tfue's wrath right now. Actually, red buff managing to stay alive there.
Red buff. Hero red buff.
But again, though, Lucian and Ahri, the 2 that are getting out of this alive.
And no, Annie barely missing with her W there.
Tfue is going to be looking to end the game here. They're gonna
And they very well can. They're
no, they
tanky enough that
definitely
they can
will
tank
now.
towers.
Yep. But one Nexus tower down. Lucian did fall as well. Ari gonna do what she can, but she is just nowhere near enough. She's gonna be able to do it against all 5 members. And with Leona respawning, gonna get that solar flare, maybe delaying things. But Annie just sitting on the backside, going to be attacking that Nexus, and it will be going down in favor of Tfue, picking up their first win of the tournament, evening out that the B bracket a bit here, as now both Static and Tfue going to be sitting at one win and 1 loss each.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for Static there. Tfue did a fantastic job this game, making sure that they pushed the advantages when they had them. They got that Annie just so fed. Looking at the damage dealt in this game, Annie dealt 26,000 damage, and second to her was Jinx doing 18,000 damage. There's an 8,000 damage difference between the two.
Yeah, that was really, again, a really impressive game by Tfue. They got ahead, and even though it was a very, very close game for a long time, it was very similar to last game, just small victories every step of the way, eventually leading to the Nexus going down in their favor. So, we do have one more game left for you guys today. It is going to be Team Cave Gaming taking on Zenith Esports in a Division D matchup. Both teams sitting at 1-0 right now, so one of these teams is going to be hitting their first loss, and the other is going to be sitting high and mighty atop of that Division D at 2-0. Make sure you stick around after the break to see which one of those two it is going to be picking up the win. All right, guys, welcome back to our final game of the day here at the League of Legends Amateur Summoners Tournament. We are going to be having Team Cave Gaming going up against Zenith Esports. I am Tasty Bacon, joined by Cyber Owl. We're going to be bringing you the action in just a moment as the lobby is being created and set up, teams getting themselves in. And once they are all set, we will be jumping into the game. Just watch this battle of... I got nothing. I was gonna try and come up with something good, but like you got Cave, Zenith, and Cave. There's not really much. You don't have like...
Boo. So it seems like they mixed up the team sides again.
Tisk tisk.
Not cool, man. It's not cool. Okay, so it's going to be Zenith Esports on the blue side and Team Cave Gaming on the red side. On Zenith Esports, we have Zenith Fuka, Chump John, Punk Face Boots, Shady, and Virus.
And over on the side of Team Cave Gaming, we have How's Your Soup Nazi, Kazaroon, Ensis, and Intern Joe waiting on the 5th member to arrive.
Dun 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 dun. Copyrights are gonna hit us hard now.
We should probably be avoiding doing things that could possibly get us in trouble. Just an idea.
It was my voice. They cannot copyright my voice.
They can copyright your tones, though.
No.
Looks like they're trying to decide who's gonna be blue side and red side.
Yeah, they aren't teams. I think they were just weren't told immediately who it was supposed to be, but according to the schedule, which isn't exactly going to be. Actually, no, that's not accurate because it was the opposite for the last game. So once we get this sorted,
drink till you're drunk, smoke like a broke stove, don't quit, take flight. I can't remember last night. It's alright, this the life of a superstar, sci-fi with that boy trooping hard, cooping cars, Snoopy hard in the paint. Drink another cup until I fall flat, all that and then some. 151 done.
So we're just gonna be waiting around for the game to start for a little while. Teams are still getting sorted, so once we do get into the pick and ban phase, we will return with the high octane action.
it's gonna be yeah. Hopefully, I mean these last 2 games have been very action-packed, just as we expected from the start, and hopefully this 3rd and final game of today won't be any different. As we do see Saga support Vague M joining as the final member.
Wake up in the morning, do the same shit. Hangover. Hangover.
Alright, so still haven't heard back from our contact, unfortunately. So, looks like they may just be going with
Screw it, leave it as is.
yeah, we'll see what the teams, if the teams are just going to leave it as it is. I don't think both of them were saying that they don't really mind either way, which is how it's supposed to be. You shouldn't have to
So remember, guys, if you want to know more about this tournament as it's going on, you want to keep track of the standings, know who exactly is on the teams, go ahead and go over to www.esportshq.com for any information regarding Last and LEC Squared, which is going to be taking place in June in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
All right, got our answer. Got it.
Did you now?
I did. And there it is.
Okay, so switch sides. They're gonna have to do it one at a time since we have only one slot.
Hey, they're going pretty quickly though, all things considered. They got this down. They are used to this apparently. Moving things right along, and in just a moment, we will be all set. Of course, once again, it is going to be Team Cave Gaming going up against Zenith Esports. On the side of Team Cave, we are going to have a sub filling in for the top lane, as that is going to be Intern Joe filling in. We're going to have Ensis in the jungle, Kazaroon as their mid laner, How's Your Soup Nazi is their AD carry, and Saga Sup Vig M is their support.
And like we mentioned previously on Zenith Esports, we're going to have Chunk John, Punk Phase Boots, Shady Virus, and Fuka in that order, top going down to support.
Yeah, but it is Punk Face Boots is also a substitute for Zenith, as Jack High is their usual jungler, and so Punk Face Boots filling in for him. My apologies to Cave Gaming. They prefer just Cave Gaming instead of Team Cave Gaming.
All right, looks like we're going to be getting this game underway as soon as possible. This is going to be the final matchup for tonight, guys. This is going to be Cave Gaming versus Zenith Esports, and we're going to be hoping for a very exciting game. As we saw, our last two games were incredibly exciting. We had Frank Fang Gaming versus Inertia Gaming, where Inertia managed to take the win over Frank Fang Gaming after a very rough start, and Frank Fang just could not deal with the amount of damage coming out of Inertia. And then last game that we saw I blanked out there for a second. I apologize. We saw Static going down to Fu in that second game. Really unfortunate for them, but a nice morale boost for Fu after that loss last week. So they're sitting at 1-1. Same thing with Static. And now we're going to go right into the pick and ban phase between TCG and ZEN. And it's going to be Saga Sup Vig M and Chump John banning for each side's respective teams, and Rek'Sai being the first ban coming out of Cave Gaming, Riven being banned out by Zenith.
Yeah, it is going to be then Lissandra and Veigar bans coming out very quickly here.
So as we can see, these bans are definitely targeted bans. Rek'Sai, not necessarily, mainly because of the fact that it is Rek'Sai. She can just output a ton of damage, and she's just an absolute menace in any way, shape, or form. So if you're not careful, that Rek'Sai can actually be a humongous factor into you losing a game if you do not choose to ban her out. And Lulu Jana being banned out here, two supports, and Saga Sup Vega picking the Sejuani away from Zenith Esports. Sejuani getting through the pick and ban phase is really surprising here.
Yeah, I'm rather surprised by that as well. And it is going to be grabbed up as that first pick here. Pretty much always going to be a pick or ban every single game for now, because of just how strong. Again, we mentioned last week, we were talking about how we weren't 100% sure how she was going to be with those nerfs to her ultimate, but now that we've gotten some playtime on the 5.6 patch, we've been able to see that she is still pretty much just as strong, because as long as you can land that ultimate, it is just such a huge impact on the late game team fights, even without having a 90% slow.
So Jarvan and Morgana, very nice team fight synergy there. Jarvan going in after a Morgana binding, securing the fact that he's going to be able to land the flag and drag. Shaco being hovered over by Kazaru. Not sure he's actually going to pick that. Shaco, bit of a wishy-washy champion. He could do either really well or do absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, definitely a hit or miss champion there, as we are going to be waiting for the next two picks. Corki being hovered right now for Cave Gaming, and a Nami possibly going to be coming out. I still love the Nami support, but it is not going to be happening right now. It's been falling off a lot recently. You don't really see it anywhere near as frequently, but I'm still a huge fan of it. But of course, Thresh if you can land those death sentences, we've seen it in all levels of play. Thresh is one of those supports that really can win the game for your team if you are on point. Oh boy. Kalista being hovered. If Kalista gets locked in, that is just I will tell I will tell anyone that asks. Kalista, I feel, is the strongest AD carry at the moment. If played well, if played properly, she can single-handedly turn the tide of a game. Having the objective control from her, having the ability to just do so much damage, kiting, everything you could want in an AD carry, I feel she brings to the table.
Yeah, I am going to have to agree. Kalista just provides so much control for her team, especially around objectives like Dragon and Baron. Her Rend actually would do a lot more than you think in terms of actually securing a buff, or a buff for an objective like that, mainly because of the fact that it does more damage than Smite if you get enough stacks of your spears on them.
Alright, so possibly a Teemo hover. I have a strange feeling that that's not going to be locked in. And it is, in fact, going to be switched over to the Irelia. Another Ahri coming out. Still a very, very popular pick. And rightfully so. I mean, if she gets ahead, she can just do so much. The roaming ability from her movement speed, her dodging in team fights. Really be able to bring a lot. And actually, it's going to be the Hecarim getting picked up as the final pick for Zenith Esports here. And another champion that's just been played so frequently now, all of a sudden, one of those ones that was just kind of nowhere for a while, and then all of a sudden just appeared out of nowhere and has just been dominating the Rift.
So between these two team compositions, which do you think has the advantage?
That's actually a really tough one, given these two teams. I think it's going to be very close in terms of the compositions, but I like the amount of damage that can come out of Zenith right now. Yeah, you have a lot of lockdown, and Irelia can kind of try and jump on someone to assassinate them, and if you can lock down the Kalista, you can really just completely shut her down. All it takes is one death sentence, one Sejuani ultimate, one charm landing onto the Kalista to just completely shut her down. But at the same token, you have to get past the Jarvan, the Hecarim, the Nautilus to be able to land one of those skill shots onto her. So I do kind of like the Zenith Esports team composition a little bit better.
I'm going to have to say I agree. Zenith Esports seems to have a bit of a more concise team composition. They have the nice tankiness coming out of Nautilus and Hecarim. Hecarim also dealing a ridiculous amount of damage. Hopefully the pony just goes on an absolute tear here and just goes clop all over everybody's faces. Morgana mid, though, is the one that I'm a little concerned about. Morgana into Ahri is a little bit rough for Morgana if she's not able to survive the laning phase. If Morgana can pretty much avoid the damage coming out of Ahri and just focus on pushing the lane, farming, it'll actually be definitely in favor of Morgana and Zenith Esports as a whole, because she'll be able to roam freely.
Yeah, going to be a interesting matchup to say the least. As again, another situation where both teams very team fight heavy, and having the ability to not only engage but also disengage and re-engage. Going to be interesting to see those Hecarim home guard teleport team fights, as have been so common to see now at the professional level in the LCS. It's a risky pick though, or a risky play, because you do still have to sit there and rely on having those few seconds before the Hecarim actually gets involved of the fight. So high risk, high reward pick there. And let's see if Zenith is going to be able to make it pay off. So we do have about a minute before we get onto the loading screen, and then jump on over to the Rift.
Jump, dun, 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 dun. I went there. I'm not ashamed.
You should be.
I am not ashamed.
You absolutely should be.
No, I will not be ashamed. I stand by what I did. I stand by what I said. I will accept the consequences accordingly. I will not be ashamed.
Oh boy. So just a little bit left before we get onto the loading screen for the final time today. Let's see which of these two teams will
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy Diamond!
What?
What?
I apologize for everyone viewing.
Man, you're a buzzkill.
For the antics of my co-host tonight.
He's not sorry. He's lying. He's encouraging it.
So one more time, TCG Cave Gaming going to be going up against Zenith Esports. See which of these two teams will end up at 2-0 when the day is all said and done. We are going to be getting onto the Rift in just
Very
a
nice
moment.
and quick loading screen this time. Are you in the game?
I'm waiting for everyone to actually officially load in because, as we know, it likes to load us onto the Rift before anybody else, apparently.
If you guys look behind the shopkeeper on red side, you can see a heart of gold. Nice little tidbit there.
R.I.P. Heart of Gold.
R.I.P. Heart of Gold, indeed. If only there was a force of nature somewhere in that little boat of yours.
I think maybe it's over. They should put a Force of Nature over on the blue side store. He doesn't have anything fun over there.
Hold on. Let me make sure of that. He has a Will of the Ancients. He has a Zonia's. He has an Infinity Edge. A Blade of the Ruined King. A Rile Eyes. Wow, you're stacked.
Yeah, right. Like that's a lot of damage he's got over there.
Oh my
We
goodness.
do see. We could be seeing.
Oh
our
my God!
first
Really?
Level 1 fight. Oh, but the Dark Binding is going to miss, and Ari's just
flash.
gonna flash over the wall. So they do get a flash out of it, but may have been worried about the anchor still hitting from Nautilus.
That's very true, but the follow-up coming out of Zenith Esports level 1 isn't going to be that strong.
Yeah, definitely probably could have gotten away with just walking out of that one instead, but wanting to make sure that she was safe. However, you know, when you're at this level of competitive play, you know that Zenith is going to be having the timer on that flash, and unfortunately Nautilus not the best at super early ganks, but you know, maybe wanting to pay a visit to that Aria, she's going to be fairly immobile for the first few minutes, other than having that speed boost from her Orb of Perception. A little bit unconventional start here, as we do see Jarvan actually starting up on his red buff. Hecarim going to be starting at Jarvan's Wolves. The bottom lane of Zenith starting at the Gromp. Then we have Aurelia starting at the Wolves, and Sejuani getting a standard start. So 3 jungle camps being taken right off the bat by Zenith. Just going to get early level 2s for across the board for them, really, except for the mid lane.
Even though Nautilus was the one that got level 2 instead of Kalista, which is a little interesting there. I'm curious how the experience was distributed there. Nice amount of damage going out onto that Thresh there. Phosphorus Bomb goes out from the Corki, but it does miss, and it looks like she's going to be doing a lot of damage.
So much damage.
And the Nautilus is going to be going in. Is the Ignite going to be taking down? Is it going to be enough to take down the Thresh? First Blood's going to be going over to Virus, and it's going to be Corki going to be doing quite a bit of damage there. Is he going to be able to get the kill onto Virus? Yes, he does. How's your soup now? He does manage to pick up the kill. Nautilus should be able to pick up the kill here as well, and the Corki tries to Valkyrie away. However, the Dredge line does manage to keep him there. Fuka picking up a kill there. 2 kills for 1 in favor of Zenith Esports. First Blood going over to Zenith. And that was a nice play by them to make sure that they got ahead early.
Yeah, a really aggressive play as Kalista just sat there constantly poking, and all of a sudden, that's one of the things about Kalista is, you know, when you have that that pact being made, you don't even realize that all of a sudden your health is just disappearing as you with her W. When she has that, it's going to be doing extra percent damage, and she just has so much natural damage on her own. And of course, Nautilus, I really like that they gave the Nautilus level 3 early on, because once he has that, or the level 2 early on, I should say, because once he has his abilities, those 3 basic abilities, his combo does a surprising amount of damage that a lot of people are not expecting.
And the BM coming out of Jump John here, he's just clopping all over Irelia. And it's just insulting. He's just like,
yeah, sitting just outside tower range.
Nice bit of a trading here going on in the top lane. We see Jarvan going in for the gank. He's going to just kind of walk around there. The Corki taking the Lantern from Thresh. And also in the mid lane, Sejuani going in for the gank onto the Morgana, but didn't really have anything there. Hecarim being stunned up close to the tower of Irelia, but he's just going to do a little bit of damage on the way out. Irelia going very low in terms of mana.
Jump John really showing that he knows the tower ranges extremely well, constantly going up and stopping just outside of it so that the tower never actually targets him.
And as it seems right now in the bot lane, Corki really pushing into this Kalista Nautilus now. Kalista not really having the best wave clear, especially not compared to Corki. So she's going to have to be careful to avoid any unnecessary damage and still trying to get the farm that's absolutely 100% necessary. She's doing a nice amount of damage to the Corki. And as you guys know, whenever you kill a minion or any other enemy with your Rend, it actually
Nautilus going in.
And Nautilus is going to be going. Kalista doing a whole bunch of damage to the Thresh. The Rend actually picking up the kill onto the Thresh. Is Corki going to be going down here as well? Meanwhile, Sejuani going to be coming in as well. Kalista really far away, letting Nautilus just kind of tank all that damage up. Maybe another kill could have been had there, but that was one kill for nothing in favor of Dina Esports. And Irelia, kind of jumped onto Hecarim and died. I don't really know why she did that.
I think maybe she was looking for an equilibrium strike there, but I'm not sure. It definitely was not the best of decisions.
We see the Ignite ticking in onto the Ahri, but Ahri should be able to live in. She does just barely. Sejuani going to be eating a lot of damage here, and she's wasting quite a bit of time. Jarvan just going to be clearing out her side of the jungle as well. Meanwhile, Hecarim is also proxying in the top lane. So Jarvan's going to be just denying the Sejuani of a lot of experience by clearing away those camps. And he's just going to be farming up until he gets the Warrior enchantment on his item. I'm pretty sure he's not going to go for the Cinder Hulk as he is sitting on Jarvan. He needs a little bit of damage before he goes for that tankiness. But he's probably, let's see, he's sitting on exactly 792 gold. So he should be able to back soon and get his necessary items.
Yeah, Kalista going to get hooked.
Kalista does indeed get hooked, and the Phosphorus Bomb not going to be used yet by the Corki. Not a lot of damage coming out from them. Meanwhile, Hecarim going to be teleporting into the bot lane. He's going to be going in onto the Corki. He uses his Onslaught of Shadows. He actually picks up the... Nautilus actually picking up the kill onto the Corki. It looks like they're going to try and maybe go for the dive here onto the Thresh. Their minions are not yet close enough to the tower. Thresh going to be eating some auto attacks from the Kalista as well as a Rend. Hecarim going to be finding a Sejuani as he's trying to recall there. The hook goes out from the Thresh, but it does miss. Meanwhile, Ahri going to be trying to land the charm. That misses as well. The Orb of Deception also misses. Hecarim should be able to escape just fine. Clop out of there.
That is really impressive that Hecarim got out of that. It looked like he was going to be dead to rights. I'm a little not so much questioning, but more upset to see Zenith not being a little bit more aggressive in that bottom lane. I really feel like they easily could have dove that Thresh, but...
And right there, we see the Thresh going to be engaged on by the Nautilus. The Thresh lane did actually go up. The hook goes out onto the Nautilus. He's going to be taking on the tower. One more few set of auto attacks should be able to go ahead and pick up the kill onto Nautilus. Corki not quite going to get close enough, though. And that's going to be Nautilus able to escape after burning a splash.
Yeah, and again, I really do feel like Zenith missed out on a chance to get a kill. They did the same thing earlier, where I feel like they could have gotten a kill onto either Corki or Sejuani, and they just completely backed off instead.
A lot
playing
of damage
very
going out here in the top lane. Is Hecarim going to go for the dive onto Aurelia? He actually does go, and he actually picks up the kill there. Meanwhile, Shady being engaged on by the Sejuani and the Ahri, and Sejuani actually going down to the pool of Morgana. Morgana being caught out there alone. She does not have a Zhonya's Hourglass, so after using her ultimate, she couldn't just pop that and survive. Ahri picking up a kill for... Actually, no, Sejuani picking up the kill there for herself. And Morgana picking up the return kill onto Sejuani. Ahri only getting the assist and some extra farm there in that mid lane. Jarvan sitting extremely far ahead in terms of farm. However, he has not been relevant at all for his team just yet.
Yeah, he's just kind of been going around through the jungle, getting himself his CS, and actually, I'm not sure what he opted to get a pickaxe instead of just immediately going for his enchantment on his jungle item.
And we look in top lane, we see Sejuani going to be chasing Chump John away from her blue buff. This blue buff is mine. It is not yours, Pony. So it looks like Nautilus is going to be finding a Thresh. They're just going to be slapping each other around a little. Not a big deal. But Kalista and Jarvan secretly doing this dragon, and the ward goes over the wall from the Thresh. They should be able to secure this dragon just fine. And that is going to be the kill going of the dragon going over to Zenith Esports. Meanwhile, Thresh should be going down to Nautilus. Teleport coming out from the Aurelia, however, it was all for naught. Sejuani going to be right there on the backside, and it's going to be Sejuani going in onto Zenith Esports there, but she goes down to the Rend of Kalista. Meanwhile, Ahri going to be caught out here as well, and she should go down here as well. Double kill going over to the Kalista. Corki and Aurelia being forced off, not really able to get close into that team fight. They're going to be looking to push mid and potentially take that tower. 2-10 in favor of Zenith Esports.
Yeah, Zenith is starting to pick up a sizable lead now already. That was a great fight for them, as Kalista was just able to sit on the back lines, just doing damage like constantly to everyone as they came in, and really sort of funneling in one at a time for Cave Gaming. And that is not the way that you're going to want to approach this team that Zenith has picked. And now they're going to be looking for something here.
And the hook goes out, and it actually lands onto the Nautilus. They're going to be looking to try and engage onto him. Nautilus going to be taken very low. The heal comes out from the Kalista and actually saving the Nautilus' life. Is he going to actually manage to escape? No, shutdown goes over to the Ahri onto the Nautilus. From the Nautilus, and Kalista picks up the kill onto the Aurelia. Meanwhile, Sejuani going to be taken very low there. Morgana picking up the kill onto Sejuani. Ahri flashing, but flashing into a wall instead of over it. Hecarim picking up the kill onto Ahri. That's going to be 3 for 2 in favor of Zenith Esports, and they're looking to keep pushing in this mid lane. Thresh, the only one there to defend. Corki coming in from the backside, maybe looking to make a play here. Thresh should be careful here. He's going to be hit by the Dark Binding. Heal comes out from the Corki. Is the Hecarim going to actually manage to escape the Black Shield actually going on to him? He should be just fine. That's a heal burn by the Corki to make sure that the Thresh stayed alive, though.
Yeah, again, Zenith just really overpowering Cave Gaming at this point in time, and you know, Cave got a kill there onto the Thresh, or onto the Nautilus. My apologies, but that was really all they were able to get. And while they were focusing everything onto him, again, Kalista just constantly doing damage, and then Hecarim waiting for his chance. Once people start to get low, just charging right in and cleaning up kills. He's sitting at 3-0-1 right now. Kalista at 5-1-3. Those are going to be two extremely difficult champions to deal with.
Especially at this point in the game. It's only 11 minutes in, and there are 13 kills going over to Zenith Esports. Nautilus is going to be caught out here by the Sejuani. Is the Thresh going to throw out the hook? He's going to use the play to keep Nautilus in the fight. Nautilus looking to get the fight here. Here comes the Hecarim doing a ton of damage to this Thresh. Thresh going to be hooked up by the Dredge line, and Hecarim picking up the kill there for himself. Chump John sitting at 4-0-1 now. He's not even caring about going back top lane. He's just roaming for his team. Meanwhile, Morgana going to be looking to try and get a kill onto this Corki. He's going to be forced to Valkyrie away. Dark Binding going out onto the Sejuani, and the Dark Binding does land as well as the pool. Jarvan going with the Flying Drag, Cataclysm picking up the kill with the auto attack. It's going to be another tower going down in favor of Zenith Esports. And 5 members of their team down in the bot lane. Aurelia going back towards the top lane. They should be able to push towards this inner tower as well if they do not send someone back to help defend it.
Yeah, this should be the tower going down for Zenith, picking up their 4th of the game already, just 12.5 minutes in.
Yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. This is almost a 10,000 gold lead in favor of Zenith Esports at only 12 minutes into the game. 2,600 gold to 26,000 gold to 16,000 gold. 4 towers in favor of Zenith. And honestly, this just goes to show how strong team fighting is when you have a Kalista on your team. She's able to output so much damage because she just sits there auto-attacking you over and over and over and over and over and over, getting those stacks, and then you just do not expect the damage. Just how much damage is going to be coming out just from that Rend.
Yeah, right now, Zenith just going to be looking to continue playing exactly the same way they have been. There's no reason for them to change up their style as they have this 15-3 lead, almost 10,000 gold here, only 13.5 minutes in, and really just getting everything that they could want on the map right now as they are just grouping up, looking to continue to push in these towers, continue to get objectives, and force Cave Gaming to have to play on the defensive.
Oh, and looks like Morgana going to be hooked up. Dark Binding going out onto the Thresh, and that actually is just going to negate anything that they could have done there. And it looks like Zenith Esports is going to be going ahead, pushing into this top lane. Are they going to be looking to maybe go for the engage? And there goes Thresh in with the engage. Irelia going to be following up. Meanwhile, Sejuani and Corki going to be fighting against that beefy Nautilus, not doing really any much damage. Sejuani going to be engaged on with a Flag and Drag Cataclysm. Morgana picking up the kill onto Sejuani there. 1 kill in favor of Zenith Esports. Nothing else really happening. Ahri sitting at half HP. Corki going to be hit up with a Dark Binding as well as the Sanguine Blade, and that's going to be Zen Virus picking up the kill there with the Q from Kalista. And it looks like Nautilus is going to be going in onto the Ahri. Ahri going down to the Soul Shackles of Morgana. Double kill going over to Morgana now onto the Thresh, and Hecarim picking up the kill onto Irelia. Ace for Zenith Esports at 14 minutes into the game.
That was a beautiful play by Hecarim and Jarvan there. Hecarim went back to base, and Jarvan put down his flag in the middle of the fight. Not only does that, of course, give his team extra attack speed, but it's a point that Hecarim can teleport into. So Hecarim just teleports into that Demacian standard and was able to join that fight in the last seconds, make sure to secure that ace and get that inner tower in favor of Zenith. And it is now 20-3. They are absolutely in the driver's seat right now, and looking to be moving themselves onto that 2-0 standing for the tournament. But there is still a chance for Cave Gaming to come back, but they're gonna have to start playing a lot more careful and a lot more together if they are going to have any chance of this, because right now Zenith Esports is just pushing them around the map and doing whatever they want to.
See, but here's the thing at the same time. Zenith Esports is also denying them the ability to complete any items. Corki is still sitting only on a Phage and a Sheen, and it's 15 minutes into the game. Kalista is sitting at a completed Blade of the Ruined King and almost completed Runon's Hurricane. When she completes the Runon's Hurricane, if Corki doesn't have that Triforce by then, it's going to be almost impossible for him to be able to outduel her. Not only that, he's level 7 to her level 10.
Yeah, and again, another dragon going down, and
and there goes the Dark Binding onto the Ahri, and the Soul Shackles just instantly bursting down Ahri for the kill. Our Nautilus going to get hooked up there by the Thresh. The play comes out as well as the charge from the Sejuani's. Play of the Northern Wind's not going to be doing all that much, but he's going to hit the dredge line onto the Sejuani, and Virus picking up the kill there with another Rend. And there goes the ultimate coming out of Nautilus, and the Dark Binding as well. Cataclysm comes out from the Jarvan. Double kill going over to Virus. 3 kills again going over to Zenith Esports for nothing.
That black shield is so big. Not necessarily in terms of how much it's shielding, but just the physical size of it when it gets put on Nautilus. It's just kind of comical. As Zenith Esports pushing in onto this inhibitor turret, they're going to be taking that inhibitor without really any contest.
Oh, and Ahri going to get hooked in, and it's going to be the kill. Another kill going over to Zenith Esports. This time Jarvan picking that one up for himself. 2-0-14 Jarvan. Look at the stats coming out of Zenith Esports here.
Yeah, they are just so in control. Oh my goodness.
Oh, and there goes the Aurelia. Onslaught of Shadows making sure that Hecarim picked up the kill there. Sejuani going to be going into the entirety of Zenith Esports there. Double kill going over to Hecarim there. And that's going to be 2 kills for nothing in favor of Zenith Esports. This should be the Nexus Tower actually going down in favor of Zenith. Thresh going to be hooked up there, and Virus picking up another kill on the backside there. And that's 3 kills in favor of Zenith Esports for absolutely nothing. And then they also get the Nexus Tower. They should back out of here now. They are sitting very low, and they just do not want to overextend. They don't want to overstay their welcome.
Or maybe they do, as Morgana going in, gonna get the Soul Shackles. Not quite locking anybody up though. Hecarim gonna be making his way out, and that's a Nexus Tower down. under 18 minutes for Zenith Esports. They are just doing so incredibly well this game. And just finally going back now, they may be looking to end this game soon. There's only one tower standing between them and the Nexus, and they're just so big. You see Hecarim just standing at base, waiting for that opportunity. Actually, nope, just waiting for maybe for an item, as his teleport is not going to be up just yet. And that would be a long time to wait still. But yeah, Zenith just really in complete control right now. Going to be moving towards this bottom side of the map. Hecarim over on the top side. Now looks like he may be recalling again. This teleport is going to be up pretty soon. So, or he's just going to... Wait, how did he end up over there? That is one fast Hecarim.
Yeah, that was extremely strange. So it looks like they're going to be going ahead, pushing in this bottom side inhibitor tower now. Should be going down almost without much of a problem. Kalista sitting on a completed Rune and Hurricane, as well as a Blade of the Ruin King, so she's just attacking ridiculously fast. You see her hopping back and forth over and over again. Hook goes out, minion, rip.
Yeah, there's not really much that Cave is going to be able to do here. Zenith Esports just systematically destroying the base. They have a big minion wave coming in down this top lane, and they're just going to move on over and push that one in as well. Cave has to defend these super minions, and this is looking to be the game in just...
Oh, and here goes Nautilus, a gigantic Nautilus who's going right in. He's going to be using the ultimate onto the Corki. Hecarim picking up the kill on Corki as well. And it looks like Sejuani's going to be going down. Puka picking up the kill onto Sejuani. Punkface Boots picking up the kill onto the Thresh. Shady picking up the kill onto Ari. And Virus picking up the kill onto Aurelia for the ace. 20-minute game for Zenith Esports here. Absolutely dominant from them. 33-4, a 20,000 gold lead.
Yeah, that was an absolutely incredible performance from Zenith. We were talking about it last week, saying that Zenith is going to be the team to beat down in that D division, and really just cementing that fact here as they just systematically dismantled Team Cave to give themselves the top spot in Division D. For now, at least. Again, this is just day one of week 2. We have plenty of more games coming up later on in the week. Make sure you tune in tomorrow when we will have Katsuo and Oblivion. It's going to be getting our first look at Oblivion for this tournament, and then Warriors Anonymous will be taking on Tech Gaming. Again, that is coming up tomorrow. First game starts at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure you tune in to join us for that. That is just about to do it for us tonight. One last time, I've been Tasty Bacon.
And I'm Cyber Owl.
We're going to give you guys a quick little video to let you know about LEC Squared, the convention where the semifinals and finals of Last are going to be held. And that is going to do it for us. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.